All right, so this is going to be a random live here. Just pretty much going over some of the information I guess a lot of you guys already know about, which of course is dealing with STDs, right? This is currently at Saturday, August 5th, 2023, right? And we have a few things here that I just want to go over, specifically about the syphilis cases that are increasing, right? One of the stories states July 26, 2023, syphilis cases increasing on the high plains, right? Recently, the Houston Health Department reported a syphilis outbreak, creating a 128% increase in cases amongst women. The increase in cases isn't just happening in Houston, though, as medical experts in Amarillo are seeing and uh, an increase in cases on the high plains. Syphilis is a sexually transmitted infection, or STI, that can cause serious health problems without treatment. It is one of the oldest known sexually transmitted infections. One thought to be in decline, it is now resurging at an alarming rate. Infection develops in stages: primary, secondary, latent, and tertiary. Each stage can have different signs and symptoms, right? So they state you can get syphilis by direct contact with a syphilis sore during vaginal, anal, or oral sex. Syphilis can spread from a mother with syphilis to her unborn baby. You cannot get syphilis through casual contact with objects such as toilet seats, doorknobs, swimming pools, hot tubs, bathtubs, sharing clothing, or eating utensils. How can I reduce my risk of getting syphilis? The only way to completely avoid the STD is to not have vaginal, anal, or oral sex. If you are sexually active, you can do the following things to lower your chances of getting syphilis: being in a long term, mutually monogamous relationship with a partner who has been tested and does not have syphilis, using condoms the right way every time you have sex. Condom prevents the spread of syphilis by preventing contact with the sore. Sometimes sores occur in areas not covered by a condom. Contact with these sores can still transmit syphilis. Next piece. Am I at risk for syphilis? Sexually active people can get syphilis through vaginal, anal, or oral sex without a condom with a partner who has syphilis. If you are sexually active, have an honest and open talk with your healthcare provider. Ask them if you should get tested for syphilis or other STDs or STIs, whichever you want to refer it to. You should get tested regularly for syphilis if you are sexually active and are gay or a bisexual man that has HIV, or taking pre exposure prophylaxis, or PrEP, for HIV prevention, or have partners who have tested positive for syphilis. All pregnant people should receive syphilis testing at their first prenatal visit. Some pregnant people need to receive syphilis testing again during the third trimester at 28 weeks and at delivery. Quote, I'm pregnant. How does syphilis affect my baby? If you are pregnant and have syphilis, you can give the infection to your unborn baby. Having syphilis can lead to a low birth weight baby. If it can make it more likely you will deliver your baby too early or have a stillborn or a baby that is born deceased. To protect your baby, you should receive syphilis testing at least once during your pregnancy. Receive treatment right away if you test positive. At birth, a baby with syphilis infection may not have signs or symptoms of the disease. However, if the baby does not receive treatment right away, the baby may develop serious problems within a few weeks. These babies can have health problems such as cataracts, deafness, or seizures, and could pass. What are the signs and symptoms of syphilis? There are four stages of syphilis: primary, secondary, latent, and tertiary. Each stage has a different sign and symptoms. The primary stage. During the first primary stages of syphilis, you may notice a single sore or multiple sores. The sore is located where syphilis entered your body, which means the first contact area. These sores usually occur in, on, or around these areas. Number one, the penis. Number two, the vagina. Number three, the anus. Number four, the rectum and lips, and or in the mouth. Sores are usually, but not always, firm, round, and painless. Because the sore is painless, you may not notice it. The sore usually lasts about 3 to 6 weeks and heals regardless of whether you receive treatment or not. Even after the sore goes away, you must still receive treatment. This will stop your infection from moving to the secondary stage. The secondary stage. During the secondary stage, you may have skin rashes and or sores in your mouth, vagina, or anus. The stage usually starts with the rash on one or more areas of the body. The rash can show up when the primary sore is healing or several weeks after the sore has healed. The rash can be on the palms of your hand and or the bottom of your feet and look rough, red, or reddish brownish. The rash usually won't itch and is sometimes so faint that you won't even notice it. Other symptoms may include fever, swollen lymph node glands, sore throat, patchy hair loss, headaches, weight loss, muscle aches, and fatigue, or feeling very tired. The symptoms from this stage will go away whether you receive treatment or not. Whether the right treatment for your infection will move to the latent, I'm sorry, without the right treatment, your infection will move to the latent and possible tertiary stages of syphilis. Next, we have the latent stages. The latent stage of syphilis is a period when there are no visible signs or symptoms without treatment. You could continue to have syphilis in your body for years. The last stage, the tertiary stage. Most people with untreated syphilis do not develop tertiary syphilis. However, when it does happen, it can affect many different organ systems. These include the heart and the blood vessels and the brain and the nervous systems. Tertiary syphilis is very serious and would occur 10 to 30 years after your infection originally began. The tertiary syphilis, the disease damages your internal organs and can result in death. A healthcare provider can usually diagnose the later stages of syphilis with the help of multiple tests. You have these different versions. You have neurosyphilis, ocular syphilis, and otosyphilis. Without treatment, syphilis can spread to the brain and the nervous system, which is neurosyphilis, the eye, which is ocular syphilis, or the ear, which is otosyphilis. This can happen during any of the stages described above. Signs and symptoms of neurosyphilis can include severe headaches, muscle weakness and or trouble with muscle movements, and changes to your mental state, trouble focusing, confusion, personality change and or dementia, problems with memory, thinking, and or decision making. Signs and symptoms of ocular syphilis can include eye pain and or redness, changes in your vision or even blindness. Signs and symptoms of otosyphilis may include hearing loss, ringing, buzzing, roaring, or hissing in the ears or tinnitus, and dizziness or vertigo, or the feeling like you or your surroundings are moving or spinning. How will I or my healthcare provider know if I have syphilis? Most of the time, healthcare providers will use blood tests to test for syphilis. Some will diagnose syphilis by testing fluid from a syphilis sore. Is there a cure for syphilis? Yes. Syphilis is curable with the right antibiotics from your healthcare provider. However, treatment might not undo the damage the infection can cause, right? So this is just with that aspect of dealing with, syphilis from that first story, right? So now we're going to move on to the next one here. I know you probably can't read that because the numbers are on the way, but it basically states that sexually transmitted diseases are on the rise. So why are fewer Americans using condoms? And this was dated August 3rd of 2023. He goes by stating, earlier this month, public health officials warned of a syphilis outbreak in Houston, with cases jumping 57% between 2019 and 2020. I'm sorry, in 2022. Syphilis is a bacterial infection spread by sexual contact. The outbreak mirrored a national trend in which sexually transmitted infections, or STIs, such as chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis, are all sharply rising. More than 2.5 million cases of chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis were reported in 2021. And remember, that was during the pandemic. They also stated that the COVID-19 pandemic kept people out of routine care, particularly when it came to sexual and reproductive health, because many STIs can be asymptomatic, meaning that they show no signs or symptoms. A lack of routine checkups proved to be exacerbate the already worrisome trend, compounded with the ongoing shame and stigma attached to getting tested or having STIs. The rise in infections make some sense. However, an overall decline in condom use is partly to blame for the trend as well. This is puzzling given that the reproductive rights and regression and STD rates are rising. One would expect that contraceptive options like condoms to be flying directly off the shelves, but they're not. Quote, condom use has declined and is not trivial by any means. Over the last couple of years, obviously, a lot of attention in reproductive health care has been diverted to other issues and important issues, but I think we need to kind of refocus some efforts on those safe sex practices. According to a survey published by the Department of Health and Human Services, men's condom use declined from 75% in 2011, being the top contraceptive option, to 42% in 2021. While a promising market analysis showed that condom sales increased by 23.4% between February and mid-April 2021 compared to the same time in 2020, that increase could simply have been attributed to a rebound from the pandemic. Overall, the trending drop of condom use is worrisome amid an STI epidemic after years of maintaining a strong foothold in the United States contraceptive market. In 1998, researchers held that condom use was in fact on the rise. Right? So obviously we got a problem here. We have a problem that people out here don't want to use condoms. They don't want to use contraceptives, right? And you can notice this trend, right? And I'm going to just, because we're all adults here, even if we're not adults, hopefully people are, 18 plus. When you happen to view certain types of videos directly out there, you can see different trends from different decades, right? At one point in time, when these videos, are directly out there online, y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Right. So originally, when you look at a lot of these videos that are out here, you can see the usage of condoms, right? You can see people actually using protection, right? Even in the cases of the adult industry, right? You saw that usage, right, at one point in time. And then over time, you start to notice that people start to back away from using contraceptives. They start to back away from using condoms and practicing that safety, right? So because what you, in a sense, see in film takes place, that starts to, take place in real life, right? Art imitates life, life imitates art. So regardless on how it is that people want to sit up there and look at things, certain trends will follow into real life. This is why I state that it's very important to monitor and to pay very close attention to the media that you decide to take in, or that your kids decide to happen to take in, because everything will have an effect, whether you can see it now or whether you can't, right? So because of that trend that took place, now what you see is a whole bunch of people deciding that they want to catch bodies, aka they want to go out here and have sex with as many people as possible, unprotected, and nobody's out here getting tested. When you go and listen to a lot of these podcasts, right? And this is what I want people to pay very close attention to. When you hear a lot of women out here on these podcasts talking about, oh yeah, women should be able to have sex and do whatever it is that they want to do. It's their body, it's their freedom, it's their choice. And that's right. They are 1,000% right. It is a woman's body. It is a woman's right to go out there and have sex and do whatever it is that she wants to sit up there and do. But it's also, right, within that exact same right and reason that you got to take responsibility for what comes with that right, which means that infinite possibility of you getting untold numbers of STDs and diseases, some of which are very much incurable, some of which will have detrimental effects on your female reproductive system, some of which you will easily sit up there and pass on to somebody else because you look clean, you think that you clean, so that in your mind, you know that you're clean, which realistically you're not because you didn't go see a healthcare professional in God knows how long. So now you're out here having sex with a multitude of other people, including women, and you're passing on whatever it is that you have in your body to a multitude of other people. You never hear any of these women on these podcasts while they're out here telling women go out here and have sex with as many guys as you want to. None of these women are telling women to stay protected. None of these women are going out there telling women to, yo, after you have sex with one dude, go out there and, go get tested. You never hear anybody state that. Everybody want to preach all of this sexual freedom, but nobody's talking about the taking precautions. Nobody's talking about getting tested. Back when at least I was younger, back when I was in high school, it was always, we had that whole initiative. It was always on BET. It was like, yo, wrap it up. Right? It was, yo, go get tested. These were conversations that we would even have in schools. Even in high schools, like every once in a while, you will hear somebody, at least talking about it, mentioning it. I promise you right now in these schools, you don't hear nobody talking about wrapping it up. I promise you, none of these kids in these schools are talking about using condoms, carrying condoms directly on them. You more than likely don't even have nurses anymore that will hand out condoms to these kids. Why? Because a lot of parents are like, oh no, I'll teach my kids about contraceptives. I'll teach my kids about condoms. I'll teach them about pregnancy. I'll teach them about STDs. I don't want the schools basically teaching my kids. Like, y'all stupid. And you wonder why it is that your kids coming up with like 2, 3, 4, 5 kids before they even finish high school, because you don't want the schools teaching them, because you feel that you got the time, but you don't even know how to talk to your own kids about something simple, such as going out on a date, such as they first kiss, such as they feelings. And you wonder why you got high pregnancy rates amongst your kids, why you got high STD rates amongst your kids. It's foolishness. Parents don't want to sit up there and actually parent their kids, nor do they want anybody else to sit up there and educate their kids on something that is actually important, something that is actually life-saving. I just sat up there and read off to y'all how one of these STDs can sit up there and cause blindness, how it can sit up there and start, leading towards the organs, causing other types of issues. How in women it can start to cause fertility issues, meaning that you ain't gonna be able to have no children. If you thought you was gonna get pregnant, you ain't. But like I said, a lot of people don't want to take these things serious, and that's nonsensical. You out here putting your body out here, risking other people's lives because of sexual liberation, sexual freedom, because of what idiots out here are directly telling you. And this is why I sit up there and again, I try to tell parents and I try to tell a lot of people out here, stop putting, too much stock in a lot of these podcasts, because a lot of these people who ain't sitting up there like living life 1,000%, they sitting up there just saying stuff because it sound good, because it's making money. It's for the sensationalism. It's for the views. Because when you sit up there and see the way that they speak when they got a microphone versus how they sitting up there living their lives, it's two different universes. You already got city girls out here, the two main women who are a part of city girls. They're already talking about, oh, I'm done being a city girl. I'm done being outside. This is my last time being outside. I'm ready to be inside the house. I'm ready to get a ring. I'm ready to be married. I'm ready to be somebody's wife. Remember, these are the same people out here telling women to go out here and be wild, to be jumping from man to man to man to man, Money over everything. Give me money. I'll take money over a ring. They telling you all this good, nice stuff, leaving you single, leaving you without any hopes and no dreams, putting a whole bunch of chaos out there, and now they trying to sit up there and clean up their image. I see a lot of female rappers right now trying to do that. After they done sat up there and put a generation of women, of young girls out there telling them that, yo, this is the way that you need to live your life. This is the way you need to sit up there and do it. It's all about sexual liberation. And then those women turn around and they talking about, now I'm getting married. I'm settling down. Why they leaving y'all out there to the streets? Why they leaving y'all out there to a lot of these STDs and having these fertility problems? Like I said, people got to pay attention. People need to specifically really pay attention to the things that are, really being placed and put directly in front of people. And I'm not even, really speaking on the older woman. I'm talking about more so when this message is giving to the younger women directly out here, because they're going to be the ones that are going to carry that message longer and further than a lot of other people, because they're going to be the ones that are potentially going to bear children who are also going to carry that same message from that mother. And it's like people don't even realize and understand that. So them talking about the STDs right now, like the two articles that I read and everything that I went through, them talking about this now, it's not even really about the now. This is in a sense shining light on the future, basically telling you what it's going to look like. If this is how it looks right now, where we got these high rates of STDs and these high transmission rates, and the lack of people using contraceptives, and the lack of people that have proper education when it comes to STDs and how it is that they are passed, what does that mean for the younger generation? Chaos. It means doom and gloom. It means that the race that we see now, they're going to be in a whole, they're going to overshoot the moon. That's what that means. And that means that your kids are in the crosshairs. That means that your kids are going to be on the line when it comes to this health problem that is here. That is going to happen. It's not an if, it's just a when. And it is going to happen. So for a lot of you parents out there that have never talked to your kids about like sex or STDs, the birds and the bees, however you want to sit up there and label it, you better fix your mouth. You better fix your way and figure out how to sit up there and start talking to your kids, so it is that you can prevent them from being a part of the next wave of what's going to sit up there and transpire and take place. Because for me, I would rather, have that nervousness and talk to them now versus having to console them when they got something that's incurable. Because there is no parenting, there is no parent book on how to sit up there and speak to your kids when they got something that's incurable, when they got something that's around their mouth, when they got something that is clearly there that everybody can see. You're not going to basically coach them on how to live a normal life, because you don't know how to live a normal life like that, because you've never had to face it or go through it. So like I say, y'all better start getting y'all stuff together. Y'all better figure out a way pretty fast, quick, fast, in a hurry. Because a lot of y'all, like I said before, we don't got nurses in the schools no more. We don't even really got sex education anymore, because parents made sure to get rid of that 10 plus years ago. Because trust me, I remember the last few times I actually had sex education. And technically, the last time I really had sex education was when I was in college. In college, it's something you got to pay for. Because before that, when I was in middle school, they split up the classes. And before, let me explain it. Let me just take it back for a minute. When I was in middle school and we were about to have our first thing with sex education, everybody was hyped. It was like, yo, we about to be, watching some video, we about to be talking about some, like, we were hyped. That's normally how, kids are, because at that moment in time, a lot of kids think they know, but they really don't know. Right? So they feel like this will be their time to, really shine and explain some stuff and show that they're more grown than everybody else and yada, yada, yada. Right? that they really about that life, but they not. And the classes were supposed to be split, right? They weren't going to basically teach us all the same thing because they can't, because some things are different for girls, just like some things are different for boys. But I think at one point they were going to combine, everybody back to give us, that one lesson, right? And I remember the teacher that I had at the time, I think she was young. She was probably in her 20s, young black girl at the time. And it was stated that we were going to initially do it, and then it was later stated that, all right, you guys are probably going to have to get, your parents to agree to allow you to be, in the class. And then it moved to the last step, which was like, all right, we're not going to do it. And this was all due to the fact that parents were like, no, we don't want, I don't want the teachers, I don't want other adults, I don't want the schools to sit up there. So what I'm trying to explain to people is that I was there, and I see what happens when you don't sit up there and give a generation of kids the teachings that they need so that they can be intelligent enough to make the right decisions at that time during that time frame. I can basically see the lack of teachings and how it is when I got to high school. I started seeing some girls walking around with kids. I started seeing some girls not finishing high school. I started seeing some girls directly out after graduation, basically having strollers and pushing them because of that lack of education that was going on, because of that lack of caring, because parents thought that they could do it, but they don't have the means to. They don't. Like I said, the main time that parents should be trying to protect their kids, they're not there to protect their kids. But the moment in time that they should actually allow the school to do their job, the parents are like, oh yeah, I'm about to protect my kids now. You're not about to tell them this. You're not about to. This is why y'all got a lot of kids that's pregnant. This is why the younger generation is the way that it is. Because a lot of y'all are stuck on stupid. A lot of y'all are too foolish. A lot of y'all think that y'all know what's best and you don't. And this is why you got to live in the hell that you got to live in. And sadly enough, you ended up bringing your kids directly into that hell undeservingly. So now they got to sit there and suffer with you because you didn't want to suffer by yourself in your own ignorance because you didn't know how to. Like I said, now, and I'm going to sit up there and say it again. It's a lot of adults out here that realistically shouldn't be parents. Because a lot of y'all don't know how to sit in your own ignorance and just live within that and then move from that and become better people. It's ridiculous. It's 1000% ridiculous. 1000% ridiculous. Like these are the facts. These are the things that are realistically happening. But again, how many of these of the people that you listen to on these podcasts daily, it doesn't matter if it's YouTube, it doesn't matter if you're on Twitter, it doesn't matter if you're on IG, it doesn't matter if you're on Twitch, it doesn't matter wherever it is that you listen to all of these people, all of these talking heads that are making all of this money, how many of these people are sitting up there telling you to stay safe? Because trust me, some of the same people that you listen to on these podcasts, I listen to them as well. I might even be subscribed. And I can sit up there and tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt, 9 times out of 10, none of them are sitting up there telling you to stay protected. None of them are telling you to get tested. None of them are telling you to stay safe. None of them are sitting up there telling you as an adult, don't matter if you're a male or a female, learn how to be abstinent. Learn how to find positivity and solace within oneself. You don't need to be out here trying to sleep around with a multitude of people trying to get bodies, trying to impress nobody, trying to have a status and a title for nobody. Because by the time you sit up there, you catch it, you got like 50 bodies on you. So when you 60, who Who you gonna be sitting up there telling like, yeah, when I was 50, when back in my 20s, I had so many. But who's going to care when you're 50 and 60? Nobody. Is the younger generation going to care that you was catching that many bodies? No, they're going to look at you in disgust. They're going to be looking at you like, yo, you was really out here doing that? That's going to be the conversation. Nobody's going to care when you're 50 and 60 and 70, when you're old, on your deathbed, when you're in a home. Ain't nobody caring about how many bodies you had. Like, you're trying to have a title and numbers for nothing. And I keep telling people, if this is what you want, if you want to catch bodies, then go into the entertainment industry. If you want to go out here and do all of this, go into the entertainment industry, because at least then you're getting tested more than the average person. And that's a fact. If people don't know what it is that I'm talking about, the entertainers who are adults, who make movies for a living, who have sex with another person for a living, make money, they get tested more than your average person. Realistically, your average person should actually be getting tested more than an adult entertainer, but that's just not the case, which is stupid to me. With the amount of race and everything that we're seeing right now, average people should be getting tested more than adult entertainers. But again, as they explain in the article, there's a certain type of stigma to people going out there and getting tested, which is completely nonsensical and stupid. There used to be a stigma at a point in time to using a condom, which is the craziest part. Let me explain it to you. Let me just explain this to some people, just in case you might not actually understand. At a point in time when I was younger, right? You would have girls out here that would specifically tell you, it's like, if you tell them that you're going to use a condom, they will sit up there and tell you, like, what's wrong with you? Why are you using a condom? Like, you know that you don't got nothing. I know that I'm clean. You're trying to use a condom with me. What are you trying to say? Are you trying to say that I'm dirty? Like, that's the, like I said, there's a lot of conversations and things that people forget to mention when it deals with condom use. Like, that was literally a space in time where women at the time would sit up there and consider it some type of taboo to actually use a condom, and they would try to flip it as if you're trying to say that they're dirty, as if you're trying to say that they got something, which means that they would want you to do things with them unprotected. Think about that for a second, because trust me, I've had these conversations and I'm sitting up there looking like, what are we talking about here? I'm like, this is crazy. And I'm like, I'm young and I'm sitting up here thinking like how nonsensical this conversation is, that you would try to flip this and make it seem like something that it's not, when realistically it's about both people being protected. It don't matter if both people are clean or not. It's the fact of the matter is that somebody is taking the initiative to at least make sure that both parties are protected from anything. And that's the way that it should be looked at, but it wasn't. So again, added on to what I told you guys earlier, you start to see the culture of what is at this moment in time, and how it is that you have a lot of these podcasts and a lot of the things in the music and the entertainment industry telling a lot of people, hey, go out here and catch as many bodies as you can. Go out here and have as much sex as you want to with a multitude of different people. Don't worry, there's not going to be any negativity to it. Like I said before, none of these people are talking about STDs because they're not educated. They're not knowledgeable, nor do they want to be knowledgeable. Like I said, I keep telling people that some people will give you information, but they won't give you the whole of the information. Which means that you have a lot of these talking heads out here that will tell you to go have as much sex and enjoy life and YOLO and do all of this stuff, but they're not going to tell you about the repercussions, because they're not going to be the ones that have to deal with the repercussions. You are. And if they tell you to do something, you do it. You can't take them to court because they told you to do it, because the judge is going to be looking like, who told you to do it? But like, well, this person on social media said that that's not proof. You can't sue anybody off of that. Your dumb ass sat up there and decided to listen to somebody else's dumb ass, and you wanted to follow their dumb ass directions. So now you got yourself in a dumbass situation, dumbass. And the judge is going to excuse you directly out of the courtroom, and you just clearly wasted the court's time because there is no case. So, like I said before, people need to pay attention and and understand a lot of the things that are directly transpiring and taking place, right? So the next thing that we got directly up here. Oh, look, that was the wrong one. I'm trying to go to this one, right? So we got this little small little graph that I made up here, and these are of the main top STDs. So let's just go over this again. Syphilis is a sexually transmitted infection caused by the bacterium wait. I swear to you, I went over this before I did it. Treponema pallidum. Well, first of all, we're just going to say syphilis because that's a little bit too long. The signs and symptoms of syphilis vary depending on which of the four stages is present. The primary stage classically presents with a single chance through. There are many. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read this off my website. Single chance, though there may be multiple sores, and in the secondary syphilis stage, a diffuse rash occurs, which frequently involves the palm of the hands and sores of the feet. There may also be sores in the mouth or the vagina. In latent syphilis, which can last for years, there are few or no symptoms. In tertiary syphilis, there are gummas, neurological problems, or heart symptoms. Syphilis has been known as the great imitator, as it may cause symptoms similar to many other diseases. Syphilis is most commonly spread through sexual activity. It may also be transmitted from mother to baby during pregnancy or at birth, resulting in congenital syphilis. Other diseases caused by syphilis includes yawns, penta, and novenaral epidemic syphilis. So next we have chlamydia. Chlamydia, or specifically as known, I guess, as chlamydia infection, is a sexually transmitted infection caused by a bacterium, right? Chlamydia trachomatis, Matthias. Sorry. Most people who are infected have no symptoms. When symptoms do appear, they may occur only several weeks after infection. The incubation period between exposure and being able to infect others is thought to be on the order of 2 or 6 weeks. Symptoms in women may include vaginal discharge and burning with urination symptoms. In men, may include discharge from the penis, burning with urination, or pain and swelling of one or both testicles. The infection can spread to the upper genital tract in women, causing pelvic inflammatory disease, which may result in future infertility, or ectopic pregnancy. Chlamydia infections can occur in other areas beside the genitals, including the anus, eyes, throat, and lymph nodes, right? Last but not least, we got the GON, aka gonorrhea. Gonorrhea, also known as the clap, is a sexually transmitted infection caused by the bacterium, right? Infection may also involve the genitals, mouth, or rectum. Infected men may experience pain or burning with urination discharge from the penis or testicular pain. Infected women may experience burning with urination, vaginal discharge, vaginal bleeding between periods, or pelvic pain. Complications in women include pelvic inflammatory disease, and in men, including inflammations or the epididymis, uh, inflammation of the epididymis, and many of those infected, however, have no symptoms. If untreated, gonorrhea can spread to joints or the heart valve. This is also, I want to note, this is the second STD that they have stated that can affect the heart, right? If untreated, gonorrhea can spread to the joints or the heart valve. Gonorrhea is spread through sexual contact with an infected person. This includes oral, anal, and vaginal sex. It can also spread from a mother to a child during birth. Diagnosis by testing the urine, urethra in males, or the cervix in females. So, again, this is why it is very important for people to go out there and get tested. And this is also why it is very important for women to go out there and get tested, because when I was in college and I was going over STDs, a lot of these STDs are asymptomatic in men. They are not specifically uh, giving off any type of symptoms. So a woman could literally go out here and have unprotected sex with a dude who has never been tested, and he looks clean, right? Looking at everything there, obviously looks clean. But then once everything happens and once everything is said and done, now she has problems. So a lot of STDs are not going to show up on men physically, but on women, it's a whole different story. It will show. It will show. So again, this is why it is very important that people go out here and get their STD test done and get checked out to make sure that everything is everything. Just because you think that you're clean, don't mean that you're actually clean. It don't mean that. So again, if you actually care about your life, you actually care about your partner or your partners or the your sexual activity, all this other, you need to sit up there and go get tested. It makes no sense to be out here trying to, run the streets and all this other type of stuff, and you don't even know what the hell your status is. That's crazy to me. That's 1,000% crazy, right? So the next thing I want to sit up there and showcase. Let me see if I can actually make that a little bit bigger for you guys. Right. So this is the sexually transmitted disease report cases and rates of reported cases. Now, the one thing that I want y'all to note is that this is going pretty far back, right? We're looking at syphilis, right? Back in the 40s, from 1941, right, to about 1950, syphilis was on a rampage. And if I can remember correctly, I think that might have been Ward. Somebody in the comment section can correct me. You know, I may be a little bit, incorrect, but I want to say like usually you start to have an increase in certain diseases when you start to have an increase in sexual activity, and usually you have a start to have a increase in sexual activity and pregnancy around if in and around wartime. Right, that's when people are like, oh man, this is about to be the last go. I don't know what I'm going to do, Sarah, so we might as well get it in now. And this is, when you start to have stuff. So you know you can look at 1943 and total cases of syphilis that you had during it. Yeah, 575,593 cases of syphilis. That's ridiculous. Like the cases and the rates are ridiculous. Like it is just crazy. And chlamydia at the time, they weren't really keeping track. I guess during that time they didn't really know about it, didn't really have any type of information on it. So this is when you started seeing numbers in, towards like the 80s. And in the 80s, we know that's when you started seeing like the whole thing of HIV and everything like that, ramping up and, different things of that nature, right? You also got the same thing with like gonorrhea. Gonorrhea didn't really have, I mean, these are large numbers, right? These are technically, large numbers, but it's not in a sense to a massive amount up until you start getting closer, let's see, to like closer to like the 70s, right? So I would want to say like, you got like Woodstock and all of that good stuff, happening, right? The age of love, age of the Aquarius, all that stuff, right? You started seeing certain things ramp up, right? So we started seeing a decline in syphilis in the 60s. You started seeing some sharp declines taking place. But then you started seeing an increase, because this is gonorrhea right here to the, right here. you start seeing gonorrhea start peak up at like 1969, and then from there, gonorrhea was off to the races. It was smoking every other STD that they got listed up here. It was just in the millions, right? We're just anything that's like 900. I'm just going to round that over. I'm just going to put that as a million, right? So from 1974 to I'm going to put it to like 1983, gonorrhea was running rampant. It was just out there, and I'm like, wow. I'm like, what was happening? I'm like, I get, you add in the Age of Love, Aquarius, that residual. Then you also add in the drugs that people were sitting up there doing. It's like, wow, people, during the grandparents' age, stuff was running rampant. You had a lot of grandparents running rampant through those streets. They were really out there. They was outside. It was outside in the mud. I ain't talking about the backyard mud either. They was outside in somebody else's lot during the rain, just like stumping around and just all types of stuff. looking bad, looking bad, right? So then we start getting through, like the 80s, right? So we started looking at the late 80s. And at 88, you start going back. I got to go back up. You start seeing syphilis, right? Starting to peak back up in the 80s. Started in 88, syphilis started hitting like 101. Gonorrhea is still running the high race at 738K, and everything else is less. Right? So then let me see. Then we had some wars during like the 90s. Then we have like the Gulf War and Desert Storm. Like we had like quite a few things going on in the 90s, and then you can still see gonorrhea keeping up with those consistent numbers. Now, when we go back to again, you see like all the way to like 1983, gonorrhea was starting to take a little bit of a decline, and then it started going back up, right? And then we started hitting the 90s, you started seeing that decline, right? Gonorrhea is basically going directly down, keeping consistent numbers for whatever reason in the 300K region, which is crazy. And then out of the blue, 2017, gonorrhea, 2016, 2017, it started sparking up. What was going on in 2016 and 2017? Because that was, of course, that was before like the pandemic. I'm trying to remember what was going on back then. Trying to remember what was going on because even syphilis started actually trying to come back up. It took like a hit of 2016. Well, 2015, it was at 74K. 2016, it was like 88. 2017 was like, hey, we in here at 101K. You know, like I said before, man, you can see looking at this chart going from 1941 going all the way down to 2021. You can sit up there and see the variables. You can see, different things taking places, with these numbers, with syphilis, chlamydia, gonorrhea. I don't even know what the hell that is. Uh, chancroid. Let me see if let me actually try to look that one up. I don't even know what that one is. Hold on. I'm about to look that one up myself. See what Wikipedia got. Chancroid is a bacterial sexually transmitted infection characterized by painful sores on the genitals. Chancroid is known to spread from one individual to another solely through sexual contact. However, there have been reports of accidental infection through the hand. What? While uncommon in the Western world, it is the most common cause of genital ulceration worldwide. What? I have never heard of this. I have never. What? Woo. So it's from what I'm looking at, this looks like It almost looks like ulcers like on like the genitals. Woo, that's bad. So it says that about half of infected men have only a single ulcer. Women frequently have four or more ulcers with fewer symptoms. The ulcers are typically confined to the genital region most of the time. The initial ulcer may be mistaken as a hard um, chancer. I guess that's how you would pronounce it. The typical sore of primary syphilis, as opposed to a soft chancer or a chanroid, right? Approximately one third of the infected individuals will develop enlargements of the iganola lymph nodes, the nodes located in the folds between the leg and the lower ab. Okay, I know what they're talking about there. Half of those who develop swelling of those lymph nodes will progress to a point where the nodes rupture through the skin, producing a draining abscess. The swollen lymph nodes and abscesses are often referred to as buboids. Huh, I've never seen this before. And they said that the pathogen is highly infectious. It is a disease primarily found in developing countries, most prevalent in lower socioeconomic groups associated with commercial sex workers. Huh. Chancroid caused by has an infrequently been associated with a case of genital ulcer disease in the US, but has been isolated in up to 10% of genital ulcers diagnosed from STD clinics in Memphis and Chicago. Infectious levels are very low in the Western world, typically around one case per 2 million of the population. Canada, France, Australia, the UK, and the United States. Most individuals diagnosed with chancroid have visited countries or areas where the disease is known to occur frequently, although outbreaks have been observed in association with crack cocaine use and prostitution. The risk factors of contracting HIV due to their ecological association or shared risk of exposure and biologically facilitated transmission of one infection by the other. Approximately 10% of people with chancroid will have a co-infection with syphilis and or HIV. Wow. Like I say, you learn something new. You learn something new. Back when I was covering um doing my little report back in college about like STDs, that was not one of the STDs I even knew about. That was not one of them at all. And I'm pretty sure that this is not something that is new because they obviously know about this back in like the 1940s. I didn't know nothing about this. Looking at those pictures, I'm like, ooh, I can clearly see how it is that people would catch other infections. It's clear as day. But like I said, ooh, if I can only, I would easily, if it was even allowed on you. I mean, technically it is allowed on YouTube, but I'm not going to risk it because they would just look for any reason to try to shut down something. But trust and believe, I would easily, while I'm sitting up here talking, I would easily be showing off those pictures to clearly inform people of what is going on. Of course, it would be for a shock value, but again, it would be to inform people of how real it is. Because just showing y'all the numbers, y'all just seeing this in black and white, and y'all looking at these numbers from like the 1940s and all the way up until a little bit after. It's not really hitting home on how real these STDs are up until you actually see it on the human body. And that's the main thing that people need to see. People need to actually see what these things look like and how it actually affects the human body. I don't even care if they got to use a cadaver and they got to pull out the heart of somebody um, who had one of these STDs and it reached like the later stages, and you were able to see where in the main arteries and whatnot that it was there. You can clearly see the signs and the symptoms. You're not looking at cholesterol. You're not looking at anything else. You're looking at what an STD looks like and what it is doing to one of the internal organs, one of the most important internal organs. Again, this is why it it is a necessity for people to go out here and actually get tested, because you don't know what anybody has. I don't even care if you married. I'm just going to be real. You could be married, you can be boyfriend or girlfriend. We're living in a day and age where everybody is catching bodies. Either you know what your significant other is doing or you don't know what your significant other is doing. The whole main thing is about people being protected. And the other thing I'm going to sit up there and say for a lot of people that are probably married or in a relationship, it's like, yo, if y'all really love each other, then both people should want to sit up there and get tested. Both of y'all know that y'all ain't been doing that, but even still, you should still want to sit up there and do it just to have that peace of mind for both parties. Like I said, there really should not be an issue with you having a conversation with somebody else, basically saying like, "Yo, let's just go, get tested just because." There shouldn't be a problem. There shouldn't be an issue. There really shouldn't. Because if you know what is happening out here, if you know specifically what is going on. Again, I just literally read off to y'all a whole nother STD that you can literally catch by hand-to-hand we're not even talking about sexual contact. Let me go back up. This one right here, this bad boy right here, go look that one up. The one I just highlighted right there, you see my mouse moving direct, go look that up. People, yo, you got STDs you can catch by hand-to-hand contact. Think about that. You're not talking about, oh yeah, you got an ulcer, on your groin area because you had sex with somebody. No, son, you sat up there and ended up shaking somebody's hand or whatever it is, and then you might have went to go adjust yourself real quick, and now you just caught an STD. Like I said, I didn't even know that this one even existed. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of other people more than likely did not even know that this one existed, because just like with a lot of other things, we're only going to know about the things that people happen to talk about. We're only going to know about the diseases that the media and doctors or the schools happen to put directly in front of us. But there's a multitude of other STDs and diseases we don't know nothing about. Don't know nothing about. But due to the fact that they might not be as prevalent and they might not have as high of numbers in transmission rate, we're not going to know anything about it up until it's too late. And what I mean when it's too late, I'm talking about when you got numbers where you got 485K worth of cases. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Like, I was raised on one is too many. 485K, that's a problem. That's not even an issue no more. That's a problem. And corrective measures need to sit up there and it be taken. So also much love, respect, and appreciation to everybody that is currently in and watching this live stream at this moment in time. Um, while Black in Vegas said, I was in the streets in 1993 through 1997. For real, no STDs though. Yo, like I said, different times were different times. You know, different times. Were different times. Some people lucked out. You know, you was like 93 to 97. Let me highlight. Let me highlight that you lucked out. You know, you lucked out because you know, there was some rates you know, directly out there. Like I said, some people, you know, we're just lucky in how things transpired. You know, like I said, the you know, God or whoever you believe in was watching over you. They had a hand. You know, I'm pretty sure a lot of us as adults can look back at certain times and we can sit up there and just look like, man, I really did that. Man, I'm lucky that whoo dodging. Like I said, if people can sit down for a brief second and actually be honest with themselves and look at how it is that they lived their lives when they were younger, you can sit back and you're gonna be wiping sweat off of your forehead because you know that you dodged a lot of bullets. Because you know people, you know, was quote unquote living life. People were, you know, sitting up there having fun, you know, doing whatever it is that you know they wanted to, you know, specifically do. You know, well, black, yo, hey, hey, we all dodged some bullets. Trust me, we all dodged bullets. Trust me. I look back at me being in high school, and I'm like, yeah, I dodged a lot. You ain't the only one. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. It's like, yo, dodged bullets, dodged bullets. You know, I sit up there and I look back sometimes, and I'm like, man, what was going on? What was really what was really happening? So, you know, this is like, again, I talk from a, you know, whenever I happen to go over these things, I talk from a place of, you know, understanding. Like when, you know, you got a lot of, you know, people out here talking about like, yeah, we outside, we really are. Like I said, I know what people talking about being outside. I get it. I understand it. I was there at a point in time before the terminology outside was there. A lot of us was already out there. We was already out there. We was digging tunnels. So, you know, I just try to put out information to let people know it's like, hey, you gotta times are different. And we heard the same thing from people of an older generation. They was like, man, you know, times are different. A lot of STDs wasn't as prevalent and yada yada. And they was right to an extent. They weren't, right? And then we're sitting up there looking back at, you know, what we were doing, and we're looking at the newer generation, and we sitting up there looking at these numbers like, man, times was different. We didn't have to worry about all of this stuff. It was like we did and we didn't at the same time, you know. Vegas said, hey, the highlight took me out, but you're right. They don't talk about sex ed no more. Yeah, they don't. Like, it's, you know, it's crazy. Like it is crazy, you know. But yeah, you know, I wasn't trying to put you on Front Street like that though. It's I don't know why in my mind I was like, oh, in my mind I'm like, yeah, let me highlight this real quick, and then that went from being just in my mind to then just happening directly in reality. Yeah, it's my bad. My bad. My apologies. My apologies. But you know, we was all outside. You know, that's how it is. You know, like I said, you know, for me, I do videos like this because I want people to be safe. And you know, for looking at the demographics that I got up there on the charts, you know, and I got some young people that just so happen to like watch this. It's like, yo, I want y'all to be safe out here. It's what it is. You know, we got time to build. And Ty said down here, parents boycotted sex education, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, parents are stupid. Parents are 1,000% stupid. And it's like I don't care who's a parent. Parents are 1,000% stupid. If you're not allowing the school to teach your kids about sex education, what specifically are you doing? Because if you're teaching your kids about, you know, abstinence, if you're teaching about sex education, if you're teaching about contraception, if you're basically telling them everything, I'm talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly, then you should have no problems. You should have no problems. Because at the end of the day, the information that you're giving is one thing. And then what the school is giving should be the most up-to-date information that they're handing over to the kids. So you have the old information from the parents, which is more than likely not up to date, and then you have the newer up to date information. So you got two halves that are coming together that are being handed over to a child to make sure that they are pretty much well informed. The problem is the schools aren't able to teach. The problem is the parents don't want to teach. The other problem is the kids are left ignorant. So now what the kids got to sit up there and do? They got to sit up there and take out the option and the time to hear and learn about sex from their friends, right? From their associates, from their boyfriends or their girlfriends or what have you. And kids don't know nothing about STDs. They don't know nothing about nothing. I've never heard out in public kids talking or having a conversation about like STDs. The last generation I remember that had conversations like that out there in the open was my generation. That was it. This generation of now, they're not out there trying to talk about this stuff. They're just worried about who they sleeping with next. That's it. And getting money, going to the next party. That's it. And that's the dangerous part. So again, on top of the high rate of pregnancies that you are having, right? You have a high rate of transmission of STDs and STIs that are taking place in the younger generation. There was also another article that I had directly up here. I got to go back into I got to try to highlight this and then look it up. So let me see if I can find this here. Right. And let me just go back. And this is of August of 2023. They stated that the highest number of HIV infections recorded among children. Recent data shows that the evidence of HIV infection among children was the highest ever recorded in the country since 1989, prompting further demands for pregnant women to get tested. 14 of the 245 new cases of HIV among children reported by the United States nation's program on HIV/AIDS. It has also been confirmed that 2 children were among the 71 people who passed away between 2021 and 2022 as a result of HIV infection. According to UniAds, right, County Director Renta Ram, earlier testing by expectant moms will lower the risk of HIV transmission in unborn children. Quote, it is very important for mothers to go early. Be an early booker with the first 3 months and know your HIV status. If you know you have taken an HIV test while being pregnant, demand that you get your results. It is important for you to know personally. She also stated that it is critical for expectant women to be aware of their HIV status. Quote, one of the biggest drawbacks is not mothers not wanting to get tests done. A lot of mothers, and there is quite a high coverage with early bookers. It is about 98% of women opt to have their HIV test done. It's a matter of not going early enough to prevent the mother to child transmission. If you go too late, then effective treatment might not be available for you, right? And that's another issue right there. The highest number of infections are recorded. Let me just make sure so y'all know what it is that I'm talking about. I'm just going to, put that directly up there, right? So the other one I just want to highlight is that, and like I said, that's dangerous. Again, nobody's out here trying to, specifically educate a lot of these women on STDs, on any of this, information. And again, that's 1,000% crazy. That's just something that just shouldn't be taking place at all. And again, children should not have to suffer because people want to go out here and do what it is that they want to sit up there and do with somebody else. That just should not be a thing. We should not have babies being born with HIV. We shouldn't have to worry about children being born and coming into this world automatically, you know, with something that they can't get rid of. Like that child will not be able to have like a normal everyday life like everybody else. Of course, you do have people out here who are full-fledged adults who take their medications, who live and work and breathe and have relationships with HIV. But the amount of work, the amount of determination, the amount of things psychologically that that person has to sit up there and go through, no child should have to go through that. I remember that they touched on a episode about this. Like if some people might have seen the television show was called Rock. Let me see if I can. Yeah, let me see if I can get that picture. And I love this show too. This was, uh one of my shows that I love to actually look at when I was younger. Like I said, back during like the 90s and whatnot, that was the golden age of black television. Like the 90s was that time for um black television. So on this one television show, right? Let me make sure to put the image up there so y'all can keep track. So just in case anybody sees us after, the live stream is done, right? So during this television show, right, called Rock, there was an episode that I remember where the brother that you see, I know y'all probably can't see it. The brother's all the way he would be to the right of your screen, right? He ended up meeting his sister's friend. The sister is right above him. And it was a beautiful, black woman. She had, like her daughter and everything. And the brother was interested. He was like, yo, how you doing? Like, he was trying to, you know, put, everything upon everything. Hey, how you doing? Maybe we could go out sometime and yada 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 and all this other type of stuff. And he ended up getting attached directly to her and also, the daughter, because he saw them, as a pair. He was like, if I'm going to obviously accept the mom, I'm going to accept, the daughter as well, and all of that good stuff. And then he found out later in the episode that the little girl had HIV. And and how it is that that transpired. And the brother started treating them differently, right? Because it had to do with the whole stigma of HIV and AIDS during that time, and how it is that people could basically get it, how it is they was, transmitted. There was a lot of mixed information, a lot of information still not known, and different things in that sense. So you basically saw how he was, treating her and how he came off and everything like that. And it came to the point where the medication, he found out by way, I think a medication was like dropped or something like that. And, you know, that basically let off the whole thing. But the whole main thing was that the medication was for the daughter. The mom, from what I can remember, did not have HIV. It was just the daughter. And it was like after that, the dude felt, bad about the way that he was, moving about everything. And, he wanted to apologize and, and different things of that nature. You know, I brought that up to basically state that at a point in time, we used to have television shows, right? We all know that a lot of the media out here today is not built to really inform people, to really acknowledge, certain types of things going on directly out here. But we used to have a point in time where the media that was put in front of us, we used to have a selective choice, and if we wanted to be informed or if we didn't want to be informed. We used to have a choice in the media putting that information in front of us. They knew that we were entertained by a show. They knew that we gravitated towards it. So it was like, you know what, this would be a good time to put out this certain type of information so that it can go out to everybody. We're now living in a time where none of the information, none of those things even exist anymore. You don't have cartoons really going over a lot of these issues to try to inform kids. Even when I was younger, there were cartoons that might have mentioned or talked about certain types of things, right? You would have, of course, television shows that were well written that would also go over a multitude of different things. They would talk about classism, they would talk about racism, they would talk about the issues that men and women have. They would talk about the pregnancy. They would talk about the issues that women would face in the workforce, and educated women would sit up there and face, and all these. They would talk about a lot of things, and that was the one main thing that made a lot of shows beautiful, that made them very memorable, right? That's why when you can go back and look at a lot of shows, you show them also to your kids, because you understand that even though it is entertainment, a lot of the shows that we did watch, they were suitable enough and they actually had messages within those shows. Now it's like you can't really point to that. Like we don't have shows like Family Matters. We don't have shows like Martin. We don't have shows like Parenthood, Rock, right, and Living Single, and different things of that nature, which will touch upon and go over different things that affect us. Now it's just entertainment. It's entertainment with no type of education, with no type of knowledge really put directly in there. A lot of entertainment is just reality TV, and reality TV is just realistically scripted television. Yet again, it's just made to look like it's not controllable, that it's just randomized when everything is planned. Whether people know it or not, reality TV is scripted, it's written, and it's planned, well planned, right? So, like I said before, this is why, I happen to do a lot of these. Wait, let me see. Ty said like season 3 towards the end. Ty said that's the you shouldn't have lied episode. Ah, okay, okay, okay. He said episode 21 or 22. Black in Vegas said I don't think I watched right. You should check it out. You should check it out. Like I said, every now and again I'll go through, I have a lot of stuff on YouTube where I watch, old episodes of, other shows. It might not be, in exact order, but they pretty much got all the episodes. And I go through there and I just, watch a lot of, like the old seasons and whatnot of, certain shows and whatnot. Rock was a pretty good show. Rock, I gotta actually put that back, the image back up. Rock also had an episode where, because they were in a black community, right? So you got the father, you got Rock in the middle, you got his brother directly to the right, and then you got Rock's wife above, right? That's the whole happy family. And there was another classic episode. Ty know what I'm going to talk about, where you had a brother, coming into the neighborhood, and he started, selling drugs, and he started, letting himself be known, that he's there, and talking about this, that, and the third. And Rock was, one of the main people, standing up to the drug dealer. telling him that, yo, we don't want this mess, we don't want this foolishness, in our neighborhoods. We want you out, and if you don't get out, we gonna put you out, right? And in one of the main episodes, the later episodes when it dealt with that, uh, the drug dealer was confronted by Rock, and it was like some other black men in the neighborhood that was basically telling him, like, yo, you gonna get out, like this ain't what you want, right? And I was like, that, like stuff like that, it's like I love seeing that because it sends like a strong message that's basically stating that communities will sit up there and stand up and will protect. You just need one person to be brave enough and bold enough in order to, do that. And then in one of the future episodes, the same drug dealer that was there, you had uh, a young dude who was, getting himself into trouble, and he wanted to be like this gangster. He thought he was hard. He thought he was this. He thought he was that. And Rock basically had to make a couple of calls to get into contact with the same drug dealer. Because he was arrested. The dude was serving time for what he was doing, and he came in there to come talk to his idol because a young dude looked up to that drug dealer. And the drug dealer was sitting up here trying to tell him, like, yo, you a fool. He was telling him you stupid. It was like, this ain't something that you want to, sit up there and do. It's like he wasn't looking at that whole idolization as something like positive. He was looking at the young man as being foolish. And that's the way that it used to be. It used to be at a point in time where you would have, the guys up there, the older dudes that would be doing this, they would sit up there and tell them, like, yo, you don't idolize me. You don't look up to me. I ain't what you want to be. They would sit up there and tell, like, yo, go keep your head in the book, stay in school, go to college, go have a family. Like this ain't the life that you can't have a family doing this. You can't have a life doing this. You're gonna do everything, but you're gonna end up inevitably losing your life doing this. Right? That's what they used to sit up there and tell you. That's when you used to actually have OGs, because they would actually be, in a sense, wise enough to try to guide younger men from not doing what it is that they are doing. Now, due to the fact that you have, the young leading the young, you got everybody trying to do the same thing. So now an OG is 20, and everybody following him is basically 19, 18, 17, 16, 15. A 20-year-old ain't really been out here doing nothing, ain't really seen nothing. It's like you've been doing a little bit of something. You probably had a hard life just like everybody else that came before you, 100 times over. You probably got the same story as a lot of other people directly out here. And you decided that this is what you want to sit up there and do, and you want to lead people of your generation into the exact same trenches. Like, it's stupid. Like I said, I watch a lot of documentaries, and I've seen a lot of documentaries on gangs across like the United States. And it's crazy. Like the mentality, that is out here, I get it, but it's still crazy because you got these young dudes out here thinking that they're doing, the right things, that they live in, life right. And it's like they're not. And they're going to end up losing everything behind it. It's like all of that street cred, by the time they reach like 30, 40, and 50, they're going to realize when it's too late that all of that street talk, that street cred, all of that stuff, it don't matter. When you're actually out here in the world, ain't nobody caring about like that street cred like that's only good where you at. That's not good. Like, you take that, if anybody in the United States that's hood, that's a part of like a gang right now, right? And they were to take like all of that street cred, all of that stuff that they got, move them to a different country, move them to like a Paris, move them to like Africa, move them to Australia, move them to China. Let's see how far that street cred will sit up there and get them. Let's see if that street cred is going to measure up with global games. Let's see if that street cred is going to match up with like the Yakuza or the Triad or something like. Let's see if it's going to match up. Let's see if they're actually going to care with the little bit that you've been doing, which ain't nothing. When you got people out here that are actually gangs, that are well coordinated gangs, that actually are moving politics, that are moving judges, that are moving cops, that are making laws and doing all, like I said, like people don't even understand, but they actually think that they actually doing something, but they're not. Like it's just it's crazy out here. It's 1,000% crazy. Let me see. Let me hold on, give me a second. I'm gonna try to catch up to everybody up in here. So I want to just give shout outs to the King's Kid. We got Ty. We got Shamika Gray. We got WDMA Warrior. We got Carmen Jones. We got Mint Julep. We got MSMCPB. Y'all got some names out here. Um, we got Leonard up in here. What is up? What is up? Um, Wait, Carmen Jones said, thank you for touching bases on the subject because in Georgia and Tennessee has increased in both areas. You are telling the truth. We need to be careful. So let me just highlight that real quick. So what Carmen is talking about is going back to the previous um, story, which is this here, which is the syphilis cases, um, in a sense, rising. We got Black Page Pope. Let me see. Carmen said syphilis will always test positive if treated. It's in your DNA. It just can't be transmitted again unless you sleep with an infected person again. We got Tina. What is up? What is up? What is up? Um. Okay. 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 So much love and respect out here, Carmen, for the information. Um. Let me see. Tina said they even had a clinic in my high school. I graduated in 1996. Wow, I forgot about that. Yeah, in schools they did used to have clinics. They did used to have clinics. That is bars. We got DSA one in here. What is up? What is up? We got capped. We get what is up? What is happening? Um, Carmen said they definitely need sex courses or clinics in schools for real. That's bars. That's something that I feel like it's something that I feel like parents should really fight for in schools. Um, because like I said before, when I look out here and I look at these numbers and I look at the stats, like I said, numbers and stats don't lie. It's people that do. So when I look at these stats and then I think about the younger generation, I think about the people that's supposed to be raising and looking at these kids. And every single time I look at social media, I see all of these pictures and whatnot that parents like to put out of their kids, but I'm thinking like, are you actually really protecting your kids? Are you actually giving them life-saving information that can stop them from making a decision that can actually, wreck and ruin their life, and not only just theirs, but also somebody else's because they might lack the education on what it is that they specifically have, right? So again, a lot of parents need to go out here and they need to fight to have this put back into, irregardless of whatever other parents are basically stating. I put it to you like this: if other parents don't want their kids to take that class, to take that course, fine. But you as a parent need to make sure that that class is at least a choice, that the option is at least there for those kids to be educated. They shouldn't have to wait all the way up until college, which is too late for them to be educated on STDs, because you're too slow to want to actually get at the information, because you don't know how to actually have the conversation, because you yourself don't even have the actual conversation with you and your significant other, or the many other partners or bodies that you basically have. Just because you want to, directly be ignorant, just because you want to live in some type of like fear, doesn't give you the right as an adult to put those kids in that exact same box. Like I said, a lot of adults need to live in that type of ignorance by themselves, by their lonesome. And when you're ready to actually be a full-fledged adult and acknowledge the world and the information that is out there, you want to come out there and educate yourself, then so be it. But a lot of those kids will sit up there and have a fighting chance, instead of them sitting up there catching HIV, AIDS, or something that they can't get rid of, something that is incurable, changing their lives forever. Like I said, it is up to parents to realistically give a damn about these kids out here, and to make sure that, you know, they have the greatest option that we didn't, so that they can put their best foot forward and, have a head start. King's Kids said we got a future generation of broken people. That's facts. That's facts. That's facts. Carmen Jones said, I fear the next generation going to hurt babies being born into this. Yeah, yeah. Carmen said married people on these down low relationships is sad. Yep, yep. Yo, what is up, Albert Island? Albert said it is in the vaccines. Hey, I don't know. There's a lot of things out here. I can only go by the stats that I have directly in front of me. Well, I don't rule anything out. Ash 03 said 1996 last time. Like I said, a lot of people from certain generations understood certain things. We understood certain dangers. We understood that, being outside is a dangerous thing. Right? If you go outside, you can, bumps and bruises. You can fall out of a tree, fall off of a roof. You know, you can get into fights. Just like being outside, you can end up catching something incurable. You could, potentially get a multitude of STDs. Some people might be walking around here with a blue waffle. If you don't know what that is, go look it up. you know, some people could be walking out here with a calamity dick. You don't know what's going on out here. It's a crazy combination. It's a crazy combination of things that can happen. You know. It's never sunny in Seattle, said Texas, please. It's like I said, Texas is tough. It's tough. Like I said, you got a lot of people doing a lot of things. You know. Carmen said, "Oh, thanks. I just talk how I want. I tell myself don't write." No, 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 no. Carmen, like I said, I go through the comments, but it's like, if y'all got stuff to sit up and add to these conversations, especially when it's like the important stuff where it's information and stuff being put out there. Like I said, I'm only one person. I only live one life. A lot of other people have lived a multitude of different lives directly out here, have had a multitude of different experiences out here. So again, if people got, information and stuff, you can clearly write that directly in the comment section. And more than likely I will sit up there and read it or get directly to it. Depending on if it is, what I deem to be, personal or not, I'm not going to directly highlight that or put it, directly for people, to see. I'll just leave it directly there in the comment section. Right. Um, Let me see. We got Hack in the building. What is up? What is up? What is up? We got Gail. She said, Seji, I've missed you. You finally come back. And when you come back with something. I had to come back with important, stuff, Gail. Like I told y'all before, uh, I haven't really done like the video format thing in a little bit of a minute. So, I mostly do things in a live stream format. and I try to make it, as informative or as newsworthy as possible. And again, I try to talk about things that a lot of people are not directly talking about. When you look on social media today, how many people are really talking about STDs? How many people are really going over, how it is that these things, transpire, or, potentially even trying to mention, preventative measures, right? And I can list at least quite a few times on both of the channels that I've, tried to go over, prevention for, STDs. I've talked about abstinence. I've talked about people getting tested. I've talked about condom usage. I've talked about people talking to their partners or significant others, um, when it deals with these things, because we're living in a world where people feel like they can do any and everything that they want to do, even regardless of whatever type of relationship that they are in. And people need to be responsible. If you want to live that life, then you need to be responsible enough and honest enough to, have a talk with people. You need to do that, right? Um, Ty said they don't even speak on protection, just speak on getting your numbers up. Yep, that's facts. That is facts. That is facts. Uh, Let me see. Amen, my brother speaking. Yeah, Gail just be, be teasing me and whatnot. We got Barry White. Yo, what is up? What is up? What is up? Um, Tania said, I probably said your name wrong earlier. I deeply apologize. Tania said, that's why I talk to my children the way that I do. My daughter's 18 and just had her first kiss. And because I schooled her earlier on, she only kissed closed mouth. Like I said, that's cute. That is cute. That's cute. Like I said, for let me tell you, 18. Let me just highlight that one. Let me just highlight that one real quick. For her to be 18 and like that is like her first time kiss. Let me see, when was my first kiss? I might have been like single digits. If I can like remember correctly, it was like single digits. And then later on, like my first a fish. How old was I? Because I remember the girl, because she lived next door. I'm trying to remember what age that was. I'm trying to like add it up with like Power Rangers during that time. I know the X-Men cartoon was on during that. Let me see. Was that like 90? Was it 97? 96, 97? I don't know. It was somewhere up in there. It was like it was then. It was somewhere during like that time period. So, like I said, that's a long wait. That's good though. That is good. That is great. Like I said before, that just shows, how well your teachings have made it. That she was like, yo, throughout whatever ages, she was like, yo, I don't feel, comfortable, even trying to like kiss a boy during that time. I'm just gonna wait up until I'm like, yo, that's excellent. I promise you this. If we had more women, right, of the generation that taught their daughters, close to that exact same thing, you would see a lot less younger women with STDs. You would see a lot less women going through pregnancies. You would see a lot less of these younger women going through the whole era of being like a single mother and different things of that nature. You would see a lot less of certain things, because the boys would know and have to acknowledge that they have to come a certain type of way when dealing with certain types of women. Every dude knows how to deal with certain types of women. Every boy, in a sense, knows that as well. They can't sit up there and come to every single woman the exact same way, because they can just look at a woman and just know, like, yeah, how I normally talk ain't gonna sit up there, and like they ain't gonna go how I normally dress. They ain't gonna sit up there. They know, right? Because that president's is there, right? So kudos to you. Kudos to you. DSA once said, "Where are the comments?" The comments are in the comment section. Well, I'm working. Remember, I'm working off of like two different channels, both at like the same time, so I can see both channels' comments. So I'm not sure which channel is which at the moment in time. I know we got 32 on one and 17 on the other. So I think it's like 32 on the original channel and 17 on the other channel. So it might look a little bit light when it deals with the secondary channel. DSA one said Dragon Ball. I know exactly what he. I know the anime you're talking about too. DSA one says standing ovation. Um, Tania said, "Remember the thumbs up, the information. That's bars." Uh, Black in Vegas said, "My friend had a pamphlet that said that chlamydia is not a flower." Woo, man, that's crazy. Tania said, "Women have more openings than men, to put it lightly." That's bars. That's bars. Black in Vegas said, "You can get gonorrhea from a mile away." Oh man, that's crazy. Uh, Black in Vegas said that there's a herpes dating site. Oh yeah, I know about those. A lot of like I said before, like yo, being online, being of like the generation of like the internet, it's like it's amazing the different like things that you find out. They got websites for every different type of like STD. So if people want to deal with somebody, of course, not having to really worry about much and have to really explain, all of that stuff and just go out and date. They have sites for people who go through, let's say, like HIV, AIDS, syphilis, herpes. Like they got like websites and different things like set up that people can go to so that they can be comfortable, so that they can be around, in a sense, people who are just like them, so that they don't have to, explain anything. And like I said, I understand that, and I like that better. I like them having that option versus trying to throw everybody into the general public, because again, you're going to have some people out here who might have an STD, and they'll be honest and they'll be upfront, and then other people don't know how to take that honesty. They'll start treating them a certain type of way, looking at them a certain type of way, talking to them a certain type of way. It'll be a multitude of things, like that, which is, crazy, which is, kind of unfortunate. Um, Ty said down here the parents boycotted sex ed classes because they said that no one should be talking to my child about sex except me. Yep. Yep. Ty said then my response to them is you failed at doing that. That's bars. Yep. Do they have any more assemblies? Yo, let me tell you, like back when I was younger, we used to sit up there and have I remember an assembly that we had. It was a young black girl. I want to say she was probably in high school during the time. But during that time being in middle school, you're thinking that she's probably like 20 or something like that. I remember that she had this poem, and it was geared towards everybody, but it was more specifically geared towards the black girls, telling them to like, yo, you got to be cautious, you got to be careful out here about like a lot of these guys. They'll lie to you, they'll tell you like a little, a lot of good things, but it's all good for nothing. They'll just be with you to have sex with you and leave, and stuff like that. And it was like that poem is like certain parts of it stuck. And her specifically, doing that poem, like it, is specifically, stuck with me, um, as well. And I almost wonder where a lot of the girls who were, around during that time, who were able to hear that poem, wonder how their lives actually turned out. I wonder if, if that poem that 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 girl stated. I wonder if it stuck with them enough that it was sort of used as a guiding ruler to help them navigate through life, so that they wouldn't have any unnecessary falls, such as STDs and pregnancies and different things of that nature. Like I said, assemblies, a lot of things are needed. A lot of things are needed, and it's something that really needs to get pushed, because we're living at a time where you got people talking about sexual liberation, but they're not putting a limit on that who's going to be liberated. You're basically telling that both the women of the generation of now and the younger generation need to be sexually liberated. And it's like, that's crazy to me. No girl who is a teenager, who is in high school, no girl who is a middle schooler should be talking about sexual liberation and catching bodies. Like, that just should not be a thing. It just should not be a thing. And that's, again, specifically and especially why I showcased that video of that black father following his daughters directly to the club, of which they thought that he was not going to be able to get in, because they was like, oh, we outside. Matter of fact, hold on, let me let me roll back and play that clip, because there's a reason that I do certain, what's the name. So let me play that for y'all. Let me just get that for y'all. So just in case y'all ain't see that before.
Where you lot going?
La La Land. Yeah.
For what?
We outside.
It's Monday.
Yeah.
So what's there?
We're outside on Monday.
I could be outside on Monday too.
Okay. Okay, you're outside.
Shall I come? Shall I come?
You can get in. Yeah, I think it's at full capacity at the moment. You got a wristband? You got a wristband? Can't get in.
I can't get in, yeah? I can't get in.
No.
I rush the doors.
I'm gonna find my daughter in it.
Found them.
I want to see the girl dancing on my as a girlfriend right now. Dancing on my as a girlfriend right now. If you want to be so good.
Girls, what we doing tonight? We outside, huh? What we doing? Alright, try me.
So again, we're living in a generation, right? And that video is especially proof. You can see the daughters right there. And that's why I got to play this again. So we're living in a generation where we have women telling other women and young girls to be sexually liberated, right? To go out there and catch bodies, do whatever it is that you want to do. Don't listen to your father. Don't listen to your brother. Don't listen to your uncle. Don't listen to any man that's trying to sit up there and tell you otherwise, because they're just trying to control you, right? And because the father went directly out there, he saw what was going on. We all saw what was going on. You saw how the daughter was sitting up there dancing. If nobody has on clothes, that was in a sense like that was a whole scene. But it just don't look like a scene because everybody's wearing clothes, right? And then you saw how the other daughter who got braids, the short one, with the jean skirt on, you saw how she was sitting up there looking. She thought it was just another guy recording that might have been like interested. She was like sitting up there about to like dance up on him, right? And then she looked past the light and realized that was her dad. She was like, oh my God. And then everything hit. And you saw how she started, going to the embarrassing part. Oh no, don't film me. Don't. No. We outside. That's what outside is. You want to be outside. You want to sit up there and be dancing provocatively and sexually with all these young boys out here. And we all know what that type of dancing will inevitably lead to, because some of us, we've been to parties, we've been to clubs, we got significant others and all of that other type of, good stuff. And some people met through dancing. Some people have produced kids because they were dancing. So we know where a lot of this stuff will sit up there and lead to. But because the father was there as sort of a preventative measure, we saw what didn't happen, right? We saw how those girls are now embarrassed. Now, note, the father, he didn't raise his voice. He didn't call them out their name. He didn't try to fight the young man that was there. He wasn't trying to snatch his daughters up. He wasn't doing none of that. It was just his presence. Just his presence. Right? So, again, this is why, you know, I happen to showcase a lot of things and talk about a lot of things directly on this platform. Yo, shout out to Pink. What is up? What is going on? What is going on? Trying to scroll down. We got Officer Haku. That man might not even be here. What is up, brother? What is going on? Ty says, Seji, YouTube would strike you for watching a clip from Rock on Live. It probably would. It probably would. Gail Jones said they always fooling with Seji's page. Bars. Gail said I practice absence. Bars. Lamiko, yo, what is up, brother? What is up? What is up? What is up? What is happening? What is going on? This man said, why is this man talking about blue waffles? And I'm over here eating. Oh, man. That's hilarious. The King's Kid said too many people are overconfident on taking medication to handle that problem. They forget that prevention is a better cure. Let me also explain something to y'all because I watched I went over this before, right? There was a documentary I watched on Vice. And the documentary had to do with, like, I guess it was like some type of like gay like parade or outing that was basically like, you know, transpiring, taking place. But the main context to it had to do with people with HIV and AIDS, right? And they were stating within that documentary how it is that, and this is primarily only dealing with men. These men were Caucasian, right? And this is in the United States. And these men who are homosexual would go to these events and they would have unprotected sex with each other, right? And this is when they started dropping in the information talking about the 80s and the AIDS, the HIV and the AIDS epidemic that was going on during that time and the stigma and everything like that. And then they also threw within that documentary as well the fact that they have certain you know, medications out here that make HIV and whatnot undetectable, right? It basically, it suppresses it, right? Doesn't mean that you're cured or anything like that, but it suppresses it. There was also another article that I read off to you guys. It was like some years ago, where they had this guy, I think he should have been like in California, was taking some type of brand new medication, right? And it was in trials. And he's been taking it, I think, for about like 5 years. And he has not had HIV at all. Like, it's basically gone out of his system. Like, the medication that he has taken has basically cleaned the HIV out of his system. And they were basically stating that, you know, having these medications will be the main thing to, in a sense, eradicate HIV and AIDS. And the main thing that, you know, I don't have a problem with eradicating certain things because, you know, it will help people live longer. My problem with eradicating certain things is that it will cause people to be even more reckless. The moment in time that you have cures, the moment in time that you have ways to get these things out of the system, that just means that people are going to be more reckless with their lives because it's like, oh, well, if I catch it, I could just go to the doctor and take something for a couple of months and I don't got it no more. And then they're going to be back outside. Like I said, not learning from the initial lesson of like, yo, if you go and live life dangerously, you got to accept the consequences. Now, when you got this advancement in technology and medication, you got a lot of people that don't have to live by and accept those consequences no more. And like I said, it's going to lead to more riskier type of behavior. And this is when you're going to start to have stronger STDs. This is why I gave y'all the story not too long ago, where they had super gonorrhea. Right? Let me see if I can pull it up for y'all. I know I spelled that wrong. Let me see. Now I got to disable. Let me see if I can refresh that. Oh my God. Let me see. Where's ad block on this? Let me get the other one. All right. Just so I can get the picture. Right. So I can let y'all know what I'm talking about right now. This is something that I did a story about quite some time ago. Right. And I think it was like somewhere out there like in like Hawaii. Right. Now this story is a guy in like an Australian man that ended up, like having it or whatever. But the main thing about it is the fact that it exists, which means that the super version of the disease is like basically Dragon Ball Z. First, you had Cell, right? You had the basic form of Cell where he got to his final form, and then you would have Super Cell or Super Perfect, which is basically his Super Saiyan in a sense version, right? Which means that the basic, for all intents and purposes, Dragon Ball Z analogy, which basically means that by normal means you wouldn't be able to defeat Cell. You would have to go a step beyond what you are because he's basically meeting you on the exact same stage, right? So if normal gonorrhea can, in a sense, I don't know. Basically, let's say you use some antibiotics or medications to calm it down or whatever it is. Now you got this type of gonorrhea that no known antibiotics or medications can help you with, right? You had that with a gonorrhea, and you also had that with syphilis. So this is why I sat up there and said that it's a danger to have types of like medications and different things out here, because the only thing that's going to happen is that people are going to be living more dangerously and doing more things, which is going to lead to super versions of these different STDs to, in a sense, exist where they really shouldn't even exist. You know? Yo, Nightfall, what is up? What is up? Black in Vegas said, oh, I think Ty, I think that was he had dropped a link in there. Pink said during my Pink said during my 12-year-old son's last physical, he saw a bunch of condoms and asked about them. Once I explained what they're for, his face scrunched up so fast. That's good. That's good. Like I said, that should be, for a lot of kids out here, that should be the normal reaction when it is that they, in a sense, have their parents like explain to them like about sex, STDs, and that should be the thing, because at that time you're more worried about like video games, cartoons, hanging out with your friends. You're worried about that. You ain't worried about all of that, like extra stuff. You ain't worried about that. And like I said, whenever I hear stuff like that, I'm ecstatic and happy that that's like a kid's reaction. Now, of course, later on, that reaction is going to sit up there and die down when kids start getting interested in in the other, and all that other type of stuff. So like I said, it's an enjoyable reaction that the kids are disgusted. It's great. It's wonderful. That just lets you know that you can breathe fresh air for quite some time and you don't have no worries or no concerns about anything. Nightfall said hard heads and soft asses. That's bars. Pink said we've been slowly discussing the sex with him, but he still has that innocent childlike mindset. We don't want that to go away yet. No, 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 that's good. Like I said, it's like you're at least you're having the conversations with him enough where it's like he knows he's disgusted, which is normal, but he at least technically knows. So if it comes up, let's say maybe if the school that he's in, they happen to have sex education or they touch on that topic, he can be one of the main ones in his class raising his hand like, oh yeah, I know about this because my mom, and my dad, they explained, that stuff to me and they said this, that, and the third. Like I said, it'll put him in a whole nother, you know, area when it deals with like those type of conversations and stuff like that, you know, which is dope, which is dope. That posted this bars. He said having a body count of 30 is not good either. Hey, let me tell you, Pink, if you tell that to a lot of these women that's out here now, that's out, if you tell that to a lot of these quote unquote city girls, to a lot of the modern women that exist at this moment in time, they will laugh at you. Trust and believe. If you sit down and actually had a conversation with like some of these women out here, they'll sit up there and be laughing. They like I literally saw one girl in a podcast. She was like, if you want surgery, right? This is the example that she gave, right? And this is about her having a high body count or any woman. She was like, if you go have surgery, do you want a surgeon that perform one surgery, or do you want a surgeon that performed a multitude of surgeries? Obviously, you want the doctor that performed a multitude of surgeries. So what she's saying is, if you got a woman, do you want a woman that only has sex once with one guy, or do you want a woman that will know how to please and satisfy you? Obviously, you want to go for the latter. And I'm like, that analogy, first of all, having sex, you ain't saving nobody's life. You might be wrecking that life because you're not even talking about using a condom. You're not even talking about knowing your status, knowing that man's status, knowing anybody else's sexual partner's statuses. You're not talking about no type of safety, no type of prevention, nothing like that, not even knowing each other. You're just sitting up here basically stating that you as a woman having a high body count should not matter because at the end of the day, you're the one that's next and you're the one that is going to be pleased due to the fact that she has been with these multitude of, other different types of it was the most stupidest analogy that I ever heard in my life. And like I said before, this is why a lot of people should not have platforms. This is why a lot of people just should not really be talking because you don't just have it. Again, it's different if these were women just solely talking to other women of the exact same age. Fine, no problem. I technically, realistically would not even care. But this information is going to women who are in their young 20s. This is going to young girls who are in college, who are in high school at this moment in time. Even to certain extents, because we're in the TikTok era, this is going to girls who are in middle school. And they're listening to the information of an adult woman basically telling them that have a high body count so that you can satisfy the next guy better, so that you can make sure to keep that guy when he's in a relationship with you. Like it's the most craziest logic, but like I said before, it's crazy out here. But you can't sit up there and tell people that. Like I said, I think I might have mentioned this to y'all, but at one point in time, I knew somebody that stated that she had, and she at the moment in time, how, let me see, I think was like 22. right? She was 22 during the time, and she stated that her body count was about close to about 70 or 80. I'm like, oh, oh, I'm like, yeah, rain check. I'm like, nah, son. I'm like, I'm scared of you. And I'm talking about I'm really scared. I'm like, nah, I'm good. Nope. Nope. I don't got nothing to prove. I don't got nothing to prove there. I'm like, nah, that's too much of a risk. That's some dark and murky waters. Like I said, you don't know what's going to sit up there and happen there. Woo! Like I said, I'm like, yo, how do you even keep track? I'm like, how do you? I'm like, do you remember like every like? Woo! Oh man. Ooh boy, let me tell you, when I sit up there and tell you that I ran so far away. Grand Theft Auto Vice City stories like, yo, I ran, son. We ain't doing that. Nah, son. Ooh, yo, your numbers are at the age of somebody's grandfather. That's crazy. You're not even close to 80. And you're ooh, nah, bruh. Couldn't even do it. Couldn't even do it. Nope. I was not about to be 81, let me tell you. We wasn't doing it. Like I said, and to a lot of the young dudes out here, it is okay to sit up there and like say no. It is okay not to sit up there and just initially have sex with a woman, that you're interested. You don't have it ain't nothing wrong with that. Irregardless of whatever like your friends might sit up there and say, irregardless of whatever that girl might sit up there and say, irregardless of whatever it is that the world might sit up there and tell you, it is okay. If you hear some stuff, like a girl has like a ridiculous ass like number, or that she been out here, and you're like, yeah, I know I ain't cool with this. It is okay to say no. Don't let other people, don't let especially let me just let you know something. Don't let other guys sit up there and tell you like, yo, if you sit up there saying no, it's like, yo, something wrong with you. Nah, that just means that those other guys like playing Russian roulette with their dick, and they want to be the next one to potentially catch an STD that is incurable. That's all that is. That just means that they like going out here unprotected and seeing what's going to happen. They want to see how dirty the water is, and they want to test the temperatures with their body parts and fluids. That's all that means. That you don't got to be the next one in line to be as stupid as them. You don't got to do that. Like I said, there is no shame as a guy for saying no. Trust me, I done sat up there and done it before. It ain't nothing wrong with that. Don't be ashamed of it. Don't listen to anybody else who tell you that there's something wrong with you. Let them be the next one. Line them up so they can sit up there and be, number whatnot or whatever, and wait in line with everybody else and see who's going to be the one to catch something. Let me see. Ty said, all right, I had a clip I wanted to send you, but if it's going to get a strike, it ain't worth the issue. Oh, you had a clip? You know what? The funny thing is, I show content up here, but it's like, I'm not sure if I happen to do it because like YouTube be like weird. So it's like, I don't even be too sure what be happening sometimes. But I watch it. I watch it probably after. Nice said, I remember a while back when that father got drugged on social media for whipping his daughters for twerking on the internet. Oh yeah. I remember that. And I sat up there and I agree with that father. I'm like, he did the right thing. Because let me see. Because let me put that directly up here. I agree with that father in doing that. because number one, again, it showcased that a father is there, and that number two, even if a father is there, that girls will still do whatever it is that girls want to sit up there and do, irregardless of the teachings of the father, even if it is against the father's teachings, even if they know that is something that the father would never even actually condone anywhere at all. They will still decide to sit up there and do what it is that they feel is in their best interest, because they're girls, because they're emotional, because they want to be outside, because they want to show off, because they want the attention. So, like I said, when that dude came up in there with that extension cord or whatever it is, and he started sitting up there hitting indiscriminately, I ain't feel bad for him. Because if you would have stayed your hot ass directly to just gossiping, just talking about boys on the phone or watching stuff on a computer, none of this would have been the case. And like I said, I understood why he sat up there and went that way with them girls, because it was like the image of them twerking is not just for the boys that are their age. That's going out to everybody. That's going out to the whole world. So you're going to have now men, grown men, looking at those girls the way that they shouldn't be looked at. Because now that image is directly out there. So now those potential predators are going to be like, oh, I see, there goes Summer. Now they're going to be, So like I said, I get why that dude was angry. I get why he sat up there and was like just hitting like indiscriminately. I ain't even mad. And this is why I'm going to sit up there and state again, whenever I happen to talk about these things or showcase this, everybody talks about the lack of fathers in homes. But a lot of times I see the lack of mothers sitting up here teaching. Nobody wants to talk about that, though. Nobody wants to talk about how a lot of these women out here that got daughters ain't sitting up there teaching their daughters on how not to be fast, on how not to be hot, on how to keep your legs closed. They're not sitting up there teaching their daughters. So then you got you got these girls out here looking at girls on Instagram talking about, oh, I'm about to get my body stats, I'm about to save my money. First of all, they already got their own insecurities, and now those insecurities are magnified because they're trying to measure a beauty standard by way of somebody else's ruler. So they're looking at other women out here and looking at, oh, this woman is beautiful, this woman is that. All of these women out here are fake. 9 times out of 10, the women that are on IG and all these other social media platforms, they're fake. Makeup, fake. It ain't even a real face. Eyelashes, fake. It ain't even real eyelashes. Their skin tone is fake because they sit up there wearing makeup. Their hair is fake. It ain't even real hair. Breast is fake because it ain't even theirs. The tummy tuck, because they done took the tummy and put it in their butt or their thighs. So all of them things ain't even real. So ain't nothing even snatched because God didn't even make you like that. So it's like you got a lot of your daughters living and trying to live up to and fit within standards and means that don't even realistically exist, that were made by somebody else because they were unhappy about the way that they basically looked. Because the initial teachings that women are not teaching their daughters is like how to love yourself and knowledge of self. Because if young girls got that from their mothers, they wouldn't be sitting up there looking to other women as a beauty standard. They wouldn't be trying to sit up there and compare themselves to other women out here trying to change their bodies, trying to masquerade and become other women because they are unhappy with what it is in the body that they are directly born into. Because they're not getting the results and the attention of what other women are sitting up there getting. So I'm going to have to change my body in order to sit up there and do that. Like I said, it's it's terrible. It's terrible. Nightfall said, not sure of any cocktails for HIV cures the disease. It just lowers the virus count in the body so it's undetectable. No. They got some. I'm telling you. You'll be pretty surprised at the advancements in technology at this moment in time. Just like you got a cure for sickle cell. Like I said, you got a cure for a lot of stuff out here. It's just the fact that they're not really going to publicize it or let you know about it, because that's going to put a hamper on the medical industry and the money that they are able to make by just carrying people by on a lot of these diseases and different things that could actually be cured. Hog Major said they keep bringing these diseases back on purpose. Yep, anything is possible. While Black in Vegas said, yeah, I was not a host. Pete said when I was younger, having a body count of 3 was bad. Yo, that's bars. That is yo, that is, oh my God. Yo, back then, let me just put that up there. That right there, for a lot of people that might not have been from that timeline, that was a fact. If you were a girl that said that you were with more than 3 guys, people were automatically sitting up there like looking at you weird, looking at you strange. They were automatically looking at you strange because people already knew what time it was, right? And not to sit up there and say that, you know, a person with a certain body count could not be a genuine nice person. Again, ain't nobody looking at that. We're looking at the actual, count. Now it's like it went from 3 to now it's whatever the number is. Now it's whatever the number is. And now because it's now whatever the number is, this is why you got a whole bunch of women going over to Dubai, going over and, doing whatever it is that they do so they can get a 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 50K directly from these dudes. And this is their job. This is what they got to sit up there. And like I said, you might as well have just been in the entertainment industry. If you're going to sit up there and do this, you might as well sit up there and do something that's going to make you consistent money that you got control of, that you can decide that you can say yes and no to. Those girls can't opt to sit up there and say no, because once they say no, those other guys are going to be, they're in contact with other guys. And that's the whole thing that a lot of people don't understand. When these girls out here are flying all across the globe to go see all of these rich guys, all of those rich guys are part of a small circle, small, tight-knit circle. They got, apps or whatever it is that they sit up there and run where these girls' faces are basically there and you can, scroll through like it's a dinner menu. Once one of these girls sit up there and tells one guy no, that one dude will sit up and like, yo, don't sit up there and like, fly this girl out no more. That she said no, that she won't do this and XYZ. It's like, yo, it ain't even worth it. Just sit up there and like get somebody else that is willing to. That cuts off her money automatically. She's blacklisted. So that's why a lot of these girls don't sit up there and say no. They just sit up there and do it because they know what comes with it. If this is the only way that they know how to get money, the only way that they're trying to get money, they're going to sit up there and do the best they can with it. But like I said, that money going to run out, because at the end of the day, those girls are going to be on that 50, that 20, or that 15K, whatever it is that they're getting from those guys. They're trying to live a lifestyle that they can't even hold up. They're literally dependent on those guys in order to hold up their lifestyle. And like I said, it's a foolish way to sit up there and go. Like I keep saying, this is why a lot of these modern women and all of these these city girls should not be talking heads out here, because they're leading a lot of these girls on a detrimental path. They're leading them on a path of self-destruction. Self-destruction. Yo, Shaw, what is up? Says Seiji, did you see the Union Square mayhem? It's crazy. Oh, I know who you're talking about. You're talking about I call him Kai Kent, but you're calling Kai Sanat. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I wanted to potentially bring that up as well. I'm trying to save these. I guess I'll just put that in like the new folder. Let me just exit that out. I'm just going to try to exit out a lot of these so I can keep the information for later on. Gotta keep that information saved there, guys. Yeah, so basically what inevitably ended up happening I'm just gonna have it on mute, and I'll just talk over it. Let me see. I don't think it should be a problem. It maybe like I said, if people want to donate, if people want to donate to the platform, um, you can easily sit up there and do that if you would like to, because YouTube be on some some funny type stuff. Like I said, I do this to put information directly out there, right? I'm just gonna have everything else directly up here as well. Don't even matter. Um, but basically, what happened is that you had a popular. Woo, that's a lot of people. Yo, oh, they had to get Kai out of there. Oh, they must have. Oh, he might have got arrested because I think he did get charged. So basically, what happened is that Kai had put out, this call to people, told people like, "Yo, I'm gonna be out here at this certain part in New York. It's gonna be like for video games and or whatnot or whatever." And because it wasn't sanctioned, it wasn't properly done the way it should have been done. You had all of these young people directly out there, and they're just doing stuff that they ain't supposed to be doing. Like, this is the age that you, in a sense, live in, where if you get a lot of these kids together, it's the blind leading the blind, and they're just going to be sitting up here doing whatever it is that they want to sit up there and do. They're going to start acting reckless. They're going to start tearing up, a whole bunch of stuff. So you see them sitting up there like stepping on cars, wrecking cars. You might have some people out there fighting. They're doing, a whole bunch of stuff. So, whatever damages or anything like that occurred, they're going to end up, putting that and placing it directly on him. And I hope that for a lot of other people out there, they pay very close attention to what took place, because this could have been way, 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 way worse than what it was. This could have been way, way worse than what it was. Because like I said before, the younger generation now, they have like a YOLO type of attitude. They don't really care about, what's going on. It's about, them. It's about, how they feel. It's about what they're doing. It's about, all of that stuff. That's, in a sense what it is. And, like I said, that's a bad look. And I put it to you in a different method, because Kai is a streamer. He's one of the main popular streamers that is directly out there on Twitch, that ended up getting like so many, like followers and and different things of that nature. This is, in a sense, a bad look for streamers as well. So yeah, they said he's been charged with inciting a riot after a giveaway in New York City Park erupted in chaos on Friday. New York City spokesperson stated that the video game live streamer Kai Cenat had been charged with riot, inciting to riot, and unlawful assembly. They added that he was issued a desk appearance ticket that would require him to appear in court at a later date. Kai, who's 21, has been removed from the area for his safety after thousands of mostly young people descended on Manhattan's Union Square on Friday afternoon. And 65 people were arrested. They were taken into custody after people threw bottles, fireworks, rocks, and paint cans that had been taken from a construction site at the park. 3 officers were injured, and a sergeant stated that a scuffle had broke out. Yeah, they said that the event was not permitted or sanctioned by the city. They stated that plainclothes and uniformed officers could be seen surrounding the crowd, and a loud bang could be heard at one point. So I guess they let off some canisters or whatnot to disperse the crowd. By 5:30 p.m., the area had begun to empty out, and police officers were blocking every entrance. Clusters of teens were laughing, joking, and stated that they didn't fear for their safety. One 60-year-old who identified himself as Rodrigo has stated that he was a fan of Kai and came hoping to win money or perhaps a console. Two teens stated that they came for the vibes because they seen Kai, they view him as the best person in the world, but saw pushing, crowding, people throwing things, and a child almost passed out. Yep, he broke the record for the most active subscribers on Twitch in March by completing a 30-day uninterrupted live stream, also known as a sub-a-thon. Yep. Like I said, that's dangerous. Hopefully other streamers out there will learn and pay attention on what not to do, and that there are very serious consequences of doing certain things directly out here. Like I said, that is not a good look at all. That is not a good look, and it was very dangerous. Like I said, I'm happy that he was safe. They got him out of there. They had to get him out of there because in crowds like that, and if you're the one famous person there, everybody in that crowd will literally be pushing directly upon you, trying to sit up there and get next to you, and it'll get to the point where you can't even breathe. Like, this is why you need to have like police security and all these other. You need to have this in an orderly type of fashion, because without order you will have chaos, and that's just a fact. And that was just a proven fact that we were able to see from the aerial shot of the video. Like, look at that. That looks crazy. That looks 1,000% crazy. You got like hundreds of thousands of teens directly out there, of young people directly out there trying to sit up there and see the streamer. And more than likely, a lot of these people are actually subscribed directly to Kai. I can promise you that. I can promise you that. Like, that, the one thing I can tell you about the younger generation, like when it deals with like somebody who is of their generation that they basically follow and they look up to, they will roll out, they will pull up for that person. I can't say nothing much for the older generation, but the younger generation, if they really mess with your content and different stuff like that, like they do with Kai, they'll pull up to the sink real quick. It will be a riot. It will be a riot. Let me see. While Black in Vegas, have a good Saturday. Be safe. Keep up the good work. Say, all right, much love, respect, and appreciation. Shaw Brother said, what's also crazy is that Kai Cenat PS5 free giveaway caused the Union Square mayhem, and the majority of people are teenagers and no parents to control them. I believe it. I believe it. 1,000%. 1,000%. And that's usually how it goes. Whenever a lot of these things happen, parents aren't going to be going out there with, the parents are happy that their kids are just out the house. They don't care what they're doing. They'll just let them, do whatever. And this is proof of that. I think in that one video, you might have saw one adult that was there with their child out of the hundreds of thousands that are directly there, stopping up traffic, causing a ruckus, getting arrested. Like I said, it's crazy. Hey, what is up? We got the True Royal family. What is up? What is up? What is up? Much love, respect, and appreciation. I might be a little bit late because I'm trying to go through and catch up to everybody, but much love, respect, and appreciation to the True Royal family. Stated, don't have sex at all. That is true. You also have people, and you also can practice abstinence. That is bars. That is straight bars. Those are, those are things that don't get, in a sense, practiced or showcased, when it is that, sex is in a sense, talked about. You know, people don't happen to really mention like abstinence because people look at people practicing abstinence as like prudish or all this other type of stuff. Like they try to put fear directly on that, which is crazy. Because you have a lot of people that are like, well, if you're not having sex, something must be wrong with you because everybody else is out here having sex. Why wouldn't you? So, like, it's that type of thing. They feel that if the whole consensus is doing it, then you should be doing it too. And I'm like, nah, that don't make no sense. There is nothing wrong with people practicing abstinence, you know, keeping directly to themselves, just staying focused on themselves and not having to worry about, you know, all this other type of, you know, nonsense, you know, directly out there. Like I said, never give into or feed into, you know, that type of peer pressure. Don't matter if it's your friends, your family, whoever it is. Don't feed into that nonsense. If you got people trying to, you know, tell you to do differently, then obviously those people don't love you, and you need to sit up there and, you know, step away from those people. You might want to rethink your circle, and you might want to start making that smaller, right? So shout out to the True Royal family. Shout out, much love and appreciation coming through, stopping by. Keyshawn said, just most protests nowadays. I'm more than sure the majority of people that rioted in New York were not from the area. Oh yeah, you got some people that more than likely came in from different places. You do have like some people that come in from different places. That's bars. That is bars. Hack said, PayPal said, "Yo, much respect and appreciation, Hack, for um, the donation, brother. Much love, respect, um, you know, and appreciation. Like I said, YouTube tries to do a variety of things. It's it's a guessing game. Whenever it is that they'll try to do stuff. In my background, I got a lot of stuff that they were like, okay, well, we had to make this video 18 plus. We had to do this to this video. We had to do this to another video. Like I said, I got, you know, some stuff directly, you know, in the background, which is quite annoying because when they decide that they want to make a live stream 18 plus, then that means that you guys are chances are not even going to see it. And of course, other people aren't going to see it as well. So, you know, that in a sense basically stops the numbers, you know, directly on those videos and different things of that nature. Uh, the King's Kid said they did bring charges against him. Keyshawn said at one point they even tried to jump. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. And that's why, yo, like, yo, that's why it's dangerous to try to sit up there and meet people. Like I said, Kai seems like a nice dude. I didn't, you know, I watched his stuff, understand like he's young, along with iSpeed and Aiden Ross and a lot of like the other, you know, streamers that are like up and coming, like the AMP House and whatnot. I get it. But when you go out here and you're amongst quote unquote your fans, you'll be amongst other people that also hate you as well. And because you got some type of fame, you got something attached, you got dudes out here that be like, yo, we can just jump this dude like real quick and like beat him up. And you know, we can like show this off for like some clout. Like it's the dumbest thing. It's the dumbest thing. Like you got dudes out here that don't want to have nothing to do with nobody. But the moment in time that they realize that they can just do something to associate themselves with that person's name in order to get famous, now they're like, okay, yeah, let's you know, jump this dude, let's beat him up like real quick and like film it and whatnot, steal some stuff from him, and then you know we'll be good. I'm like, dog, you do know that social media can be traced. You do realize that your phone is linked to GPS. You do realize that sooner or later they're going to figure out exactly who you are, and everybody that you're associated with will be brought down and charges will sit up there and take place. Like I said, it's not worth it. But you're living in a society where sensationalism is the main thing, is the main priority of a lot of people. Having that attention, getting those likes, like it's that dopamine effect that a lot of people are suffering from it, not even realizing it. It's like we moved over from like the opioids, crack cocaine, weed, and now we're dealing with like the social media. Like I told people before, like, yo, the social media thing is a dangerous thing. Some people don't really understand the type of drug this actually is. Because like once you start getting a hit of this, you start seeing that, yo, you getting these views, yo, you sitting up there like getting these likes, you getting this attention from a whole bunch of, a lot of people don't know what to do with that. They don't know how to actually handle that type of power. Like some people can deal with it and other people can't. Like it makes them crazy. And then once they're used to that craziness and everything starts to fade, then they're like, oh man, I gotta sit up there and like do the next craziest thing that's gonna, sit up there and get people to, like me, to get people to do this, to get people to. I'm like, yo, man, it's not worth it, man. It's not worth it. And like I said, there is no book, there is no teaching guide out here. Nobody has a book or a teaching guide to tell these young people on how it is to deal with social media, how it is to deal with the fear, the anxiety, the FOMO, and all of this, and the withdrawals, especially the withdrawals. Because if you were to take social media out from like 90+% of these young people out here, they wouldn't even know what to do with their life, because literally their life is social media. Social media is what tells them to like go outside, what to sit up there and dress, what to like, who to say, what to sit up there and eat, what to sit up there and dislike. And this is why you got a lot of advertisers putting stuff directly on social media, pointing it directly to your kids. And this is why I sat up there and told people parents need to monitor what it is that the kids are into and watching. That's why it's real important. Ty said, that's just how Kai is to me. No, I know. Trust me. I watched Kai for like a lot of these dudes before they got to where they are. I was watching them when they started off. I was watching them when they had, lower, subscriber or follower numbers. Like I was sitting up there watching them for a minute. Trust me. I get you. I'm right there with you, brother. I'm right there with you. Say anything for fame, that's facts. Pink said the last time there was a crowd that big was Eminem visited the MTV studios. The police had to tell the studio to get him out of there. Oh yeah, you talking about see that's back, that's way back. You talking about like the TRL days. You talking about back in the TRL days. Yeah, that's back when like the media was like a whole nother monster when it came to like when it dealt with like the music. It was a whole nother beast. It was a whole nother beast during that time. We ain't seen nothing like that in quite some time. In quite some time. Ty said the man was willing to nearly destroy his house for the views. He showed how much he generally did not care about anything, and people run to his side. Yep. Ty said, my students even defended him, saying, if I got money, I'll do stuff like that too. Yeah. See, that's the bad part. That's the bad part about it, where you got a lot of these kids out here and they'll sit up there and follow a whole other individual because like, hey, well, if they sitting up there doing it, I could sit up there and do it too, type of deal. Monkey see, monkey do. And that's bad. 1000%. Like that is not the way. Like I said, there's nobody to stop any of these kids from just deciding that I want to act a fool. I want to start wrecking shop. I want to start breaking into cars. There's nobody to really guide these kids. And a lot of the people that's on social media, they're not the ones to like really guide anybody either, because They're still trying to figure out and guide themselves. Like I said, when you give a lot of these young kids out here money, you'll start to see a lot of the things that'll transpire and take place. And it's usually mayhem. Like Kanye said, no one man should have all that power. And this is what it looks like. Because when you have somebody power who has never had it before, not even a taste of it, they don't know how to control that. They don't know how to guide that. They don't know how to move that. So everything comes into chaos. Ty said, knowing we lacked hope, he just did it for laughs. Yo, Obsidian, yo, what is up? What is up? Obsidian said, showing love to the stream, brother Sedge. Yo, what is up? Ty said, told us that it's not his fault. We wasn't prepared because y'all know how big I am. Keyshawn said, clout is a hell of a drug. King's Kid says, self-snitching and clout chasing is a hell of a drug. That's facts. That's 1,000%. 1,000%. But that is pretty much, I guess we could say that's pretty much the stream, at the moment in time. I originally wanted to do this, I want to say yesterday, but I held off, directly on it or whatever. But, hopefully you guys, enjoy the stream. Hopefully, magically YouTube won't decide to be like, oh yeah, we're going to make this like 18 plus. You were talking about like STDs. You didn't really show anything, but we think that the information is adult by nature, and different things of that nature. Ty said, I will be getting Riveted in a few weeks. I'm ready for that shit talking you claim you had for me. Oh no. Let me let you know something. That's another thing. I'm glad you brought that up. So there's a glitch or something that happened to me on Remnant, right? Bro, I spent like a crazy amount of hours on Remnant. Crazy amount of hours. I beat the game. I was basically about to, beat the game again, beating the final boss, probably for about like the second or the third time. I played with like some randoms, right? And what inevitably ended up happening was that in the game, once you reach a stage in the game in Remnant, matter of fact, let me just put this up there so people know what I'm talking about. So people won't be lost. Let me just put an image up there. They don't just got like a Remnant 2. Okay, there we go. It shows up as an AV. I think I should be able to put that up. Let me see if it'll work. I don't even know what that. It said all formats, and that did not show up where it was supposed to show up. All right, so I'm actually gonna have to get the visible part done. But anyways, what inevitably ended up happening. So this is the game that I'm talking about, just in case some people don't know what it is that I'm talking about. So I went through the game, ended up playing with like some randoms, and lo and behold, the trait points that I had on there, because you get a max of like 60. My trait points were -60. So I'm like, hold on. So you mean to tell me that everything that I spec'd into for my traits, it don't basically count? It's like it don't exist. I'm like, all right. So what about my archetype? So I'm basically stuck with like one archetype. So I can only technically use like one at a time. Every now and again, it might try to fix itself, and you'll see like 2, but it's like it'll give me like a random archetype that I didn't even like pick, or different things of that nature. So now I was like, all right, let me just go to the guy and get an orb of undoing, so I can just undo, my points. So I can basically just free those up and just, respec them again, thinking that that'll work. I respect those points, and those points don't exist. So I'm basically well into a game that I beat quite a few times. Technically, because I've leveled up several classes, I'm basically 70 something, and I have no trait points to show for it. And my character is pretty much at the standpoint of being like a level 1 or a level 5 or whatever, like character. Like it's some crazy type of stuff. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, so you mean to tell me all of these hours that I spent, all of these hours I done spent grinding and working on this character are just like it's nothing. I'm like, oh my God. Dog, yo, the amount of rings, the amount of stuff that I have to literally build, the the type of character that I want, I pretty much have everything that I wanted, just about. And it's like all of that is almost in a sense for nothing because I really can't do what it is that I want to do because the game is just like whatever. So I pretty much started a gunner. I'm trying to decide on if I'm going to keep playing or not, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to sit up there and do with that. I don't know what I'm going to do. Yo, David, what is up? What is up? David said at work right now, but I'm tuning in. Yo, what is up? What is up? What is up? Ty said that's weird. I wonder which part of the code broke it. I don't know. I looked up the update and they said that they fixed some of the known issues or whatever, but that did not fix the issue that I am having at this current. Like that's for me, that's a game breaking bug. Like I don't have any trait points. I can't use my secondary class. And it's like in order for me to like really do the stuff that I want to do, I literally have to start a brand new character. And I did start a brand new character. I started a gunner because, yo, Glenn, much love, respect, and appreciation for subscribing to the platform. Um, I did sit up there and start another class, which is like the gunner. So I got Old Dirty Harry. Um, but it's like, do I really want to like start from like the very beginning? Like I've already done this. Like I gotta redo this and like I gotta refarm for like everything again. It's like this is almost like playing Diablo without it being Diablo in a sense. But the only difference is in Diablo, if you already like got certain things, like let's say like all of the items that I found across the world, if that transferred over to a new character, realistically, in that aspect, I would actually be fine with that. If all of the items and the weapons that I gathered transferred over to a brand new character that I made, I'd be completely fine with that. I would have no problem actually just waiting for a patch and just building up that brand new character and just trying out something a little bit different. But this dude said one of the devs spoke on it and said that he just said don't use the oh man. Well, it's over on that character then. It ain't nothing I can do then. Yeah, and it only occurred when you joined the randoms, right? Yeah, only when I joined the randoms, and we were fighting the Red King. Oh, that character's dead. Oh man, that character's dead, and all of that work and those items that I set up there, and that means I have to fight. Like some of the boss fights that you got to sit up there and do to get stuff, it's the most annoying thing in life to actually do. It's very annoying. Oh, this is a pain in the ass though. Oh, oh boy, the amount of frustration. Like, dude, how do you sit? Like I said, I love the game. They're working. They better be working on a fix because I am horribly like yo. When I say I'm pissed, I am literally I'm like dude. The amount I'm just like yo. I would have been actually playing Remnant right now. I probably would have been farming something. I'll probably sit up there just out of frustration. I'll probably go back and play it again, and I'll just use like the gunner. The like I said, it's beyond what I'm facing. The game is good. The game is good. The game is good. Beyond that, um, I'm not even sure what Timothy Pearson's even talking about. clearly talking about video games. You must be bored. You must be bored on that one. Because you had something good going early. You was talking about VD and syphilis were the big ones in the 40s. Yeah, you were doing good in at that part. I'm not sure on the video game part why even bring it up Trump. That don't even make any sense. You were doing all good. You were doing good just a few minutes ago, and then it just declined. But anyways, Remnant is a good game for anybody out there that has not played it. I've played it on stream either here, and I've played it both on Twitch and Kick. It is a good game if you are a gamer and you want to actually play some. I do recommend you actually getting it. More than likely, you're not going to suffer and have the problems that I actually had on the game. I might actually stream that after this live stream. I'll probably just stream it on Kick and Twitch. I'll probably just do that. So for those of you who are actually a part of Kick and or Twitch, you can, more than likely just catch me streaming the game probably in a few directly on those. I'll more than likely just do it on both platforms. Oh yeah, Ty, I already know you're gonna be there. I already know. I already know. But yeah, I'm gonna be there. Whenever you let me say it, Ty said, man, got a hard nerf. Yeah, ridiculous nerf. Like, dog, like, yo, I had a machinist and I also had a summoner. Like, those are that was my class. Like, that was the archetype that I in a sense had. But the dope part that I do like is once you find all of the different like archetypes, you can then go and start a brand new character, and you can pick from those other archetypes. You can start off as the archetype instead of having to wait until later, right? So that's the dope part. I'm not sure how the secondary option is going to open up and how that's going to look, but hopefully they'll do it to the effect of like, all right, you built a new character, you have all the other archetypes unlocked, so you can now select from all of these other archetypes instead of needing to go through and find them. Ty said, I might stream it if my laptop can handle it. I'm gonna be on that. Said, I'm gonna need something to do since school is starting back for us. Hey, like I said, I'll be there too. I can sit up there and help you out and roll through some remnant with you through some of those battles, because trust me, some of those levels are a problem. I hate evil. People said, here we go with these demonic Caucasian created diseases. None of these diseases existed till they existed. Huh. Man, putting it out there. Ty said, I'm going to need a way to de-stress these kids about to annoy the F out of me. I believe it. I believe it. I can just see this man in the classroom being frustrated. You gotta make sure to to have you like some good food and stuff. As you gotta make sure to do that. You gotta make sure to have you like some good food or something on the side so that everything is all good. That's what I do. Like that's why in some of the earlier streams, y'all used to always see me like eating. I'm like, yo, I ain't about to be like stressed out. I'm about to be sitting up here like talking to y'all, and I'm just gonna, have fun. We're gonna be, just doing that. But anyways, before I happen to end the stream, let me know how y'all day going. Let me know how y'all doing, how everything is going. I probably should have did this a little bit when we had like way more people in here, but this is pretty much the normal amount that we have, at this moment in time. So I'm not sure if some of y'all might have just like left it on and walked away. But let me know how y'all going, how y'all doing. Keyshawn started laughing. Like, yo, that's how it be. That's what you got to sit up there and do. You know, you got to make sure to have that good food with you, so you can sit up there and and chill and relax and everything like that. It's real out here in these streets. Trying to give it a little bit of time, see if anybody want to potentially say something before I end the stream. Ty said, "Oh yeah, a friend kept telling me to send you something, so I did." Wait, you sent it on Discord? Wait, Ty, where did you sent it on Discord or where did you send it? The King's Kid said, "I'm going old school today and playing some Uncharted." All right. Uncharted is that's a pretty good series. I ain't never. Oh, you sent it on this. All right, hold on, let me see. As we said, you out here never. Hey, I keep sitting up there saying that you know I gotta be checking like messages. Like yo, I tell you when I be saying like I mean to check my messages, I do, and then it's just like I get sidetracked every single time. It's like either like it's a story or something else. Wow, I got 14 updates on Discord. Let me see. I gotta wait for the updates to get done and install them on this computer real quick. Gotta wait for Discord to start. It's probably gonna ask me for a login. Yeah, of course it did. Of course it did. I forgot what is my login on this. Ah, where's my login on this? I forgot what it was. When I sit up there and swap, I go upstairs and check it. I promise this time I will check it on time. As soon as I swap, I'll go upstairs and directly check it because it's not letting me in there. Ty said he gets sidetracked for like 5 months. Yeah, that's bars. Matter of fact, because this man about to sit up here and try to get on my case. Let me see if I can try to log in. Uh, and get in here. Let me see. And then what's the name of my phone keeps crashing too? Um, what is the password on this? I can't remember. Whoops. No, I almost mistyped that one. Oh, I forgot what this word. What is the password for this? I do not know. I do not know. Let me see. Can I do Discord from here? See if I can just open it in the browser. Because it should have the what's the name here? Let me see. It should be it. Yes. Okay. So that was it. So now I just got to do the two-factor. Oh, that's another thing for a lot of people out there, just in case, if you're online and different like websites, always have two-factor authentication. Authentication. Always, always have that. I don't know why I put the F in there, but we're just gonna roll with it. Always make sure you have that. It is a lifesaver. It is a lifesaver. Always make sure to have that. Let me see. Oh, wait, their environment is so perfect. We've gone out of our way to make methods as close as real as possible. He was easily incentivized, and when they're large, they wanted you to send that to me for what? Like I'm a little bit confused. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, you can literally like that whole conversation right there. You can literally apply that to a multitude of people. Like that's the like the craziness with that. You can literally apply that to a multitude of people, and I can bring up history books and apply that. Like as soon as I see somebody say each black, I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty much done with the conversation. I'm like, I'm already done with that conversation. Oh man. Uh Ty said, fam, I've been around since the beginning. That's my job. I just existing here. He was like, this seems like something Cedric would want to laugh at. Yeah, and that I did. And that I did. Cause as soon as I sat up there and read the part of uh each black, I'm like, what is a black? I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, I know who wrote this. I'm like, I know who wrote this. Like, it's funny, like when people want to sit up there and say stuff, they can easily say stuff in a sense that would make sense. Right? You can say something with like some thought directly behind it. It's like reading that, there was no thought directly in that at all. It was just like they just want to sit up there and say something just to sit up there and say it. Like if I start bringing up the FBI reports on the ones that specifically go after kids the most, and I put that within the same parameters, people gonna look at me like I'm crazy. People have a problem with that. Ty said, and the whole thread is people agreeing with it. Um, this is the thing. I can sit up there and agree with like certain things at certain times. That whole thing, that is not the time. That is not the moment of time I start seeing somebody say black. You're not even trying to like gear people as like human beings, as like individuals, as persons, as a community, as like not. We already got a problem. Houston, we have a problem. We uniquely have a problem. And some of the people that's agreeing down here, I almost want to know where specifically they come from. I want to know where they hail from. I want to know genealogy. I specifically need to know that because 9 times out of 10, whenever I see a lot of people happen to agree with some of this stuff, sometimes, some of these people ain't even from here. I be seeing people that's from like across the world speaking on this and agreeing. And I'm like, dog, you're not even from America. How you even speaking on this? Like, that don't even make sense, you know? So it's like for me, it's like, a lot of this stuff it is funny to an extent, and then it's like it's crazy. It's 1,000% crazy. It's like wow. Wowie, wow, wow, wowers. Let me tell you. That is oh, I can actually click on it to see more. Let me see that. Successful slash middle class people should be the ones getting more programs. If we're going to have them, the government assistance specifically for the poor is mostly a waste of money. I'm trying to figure out to which demographic are they talking about is a waste of money for? Because they said the same thing about affirmative action, and black people were not even really benefiting from affirmative action like that. It was really white women. So again, I really feel like it's a lot of people that's horribly misinformed when it is that they're speaking on a lot of these topics. They're just going off of, some past knowledge that was really never researched, that they heard from 10 other secondhand accounts about what supposedly is. Other dudes said we've gone out of our way to make bad decisions as consequences free. Oh, wait, decisions as consequence free as possible. Humans are easily incentivized, and when there's a large incentive to make excuses, but see, this is the thing. How so? Originally, they're out here talking about black people, and then magically, you want to separate the conversation. So you're saying on one end you got black people doing this, and then on the other end they're sitting up here saying human beings. That's why I'll be sitting up here saying like people got to be looking at some of this stuff sometimes. Like that's crazy. What they gotta say? The idea that black people do not have full agency or control over our actions is an example of real racism. It's demeaning and embarrassing, yet it is consistently propagated even by many black people. Again, I need to know. I need to know who the hell that was the name. Let me see that. Now I gotta. Now you got me sitting up here like reading through this. Unpopular opinion, black people are responsible for every single action they take. Not one crime committed by a black person is the fault of any historical injustice or present day racism. Each black nigga, what? Like, what? Hold on. Oh, I just had to go through. I'm going through his list of tweets, and one of the tweets he was sitting up there calling Tariq Nasheed a pussy and sitting up here saying like, "Will you apologize?" And the funniest thing is that we set up there and had a variety of other things come out directly about that city bike incident. Like I said, this is real. Just looking through people's tweets is real interesting. He said Dahmer was a cannibalistic serial killer rapist, but what I need to know is whether or not he was racist. What? This man said black people like selling other black people so much that Europeans had to go to war against them to make them. Bro, what am I reading right now? What in the fuck am I even reading at this moment in time? If you mention black homicide rates to black people, They have all the excuses in the world for why they're that way, and it's not any black person's fault. But as soon as the rapper dies, it's we got to do better. No, we're like I'm not like I said. This is why people just shouldn't live on the internet because you have black what? Ah, so it's making a little bit of sense here because I'm seeing the complete terminology of liberals. So I'm guessing, well, by my assessment, seems quite conservative. Black people who believe in systematic racism is real and the cause for black crime believe that whites have intentionally created a system that resulted in them being murdered, raped, and stolen from by blacks at the rate that's several factors higher than the reverse. The tweets I see from black Twitter regarding race are hardly any different in sentiment than the ones I see from literal far right neo Nazis. What? Like some of the this dude said I'm almost 31 and I've decided I know my worth and when I settle, I won't ever date a woman, another woman whose weight has an absolute value that's greater than her IQ. Yo, this stuff is crazy. Wait a minute. Ty said someone pointed out the each black and they said it was a mistake. It was a nah, this ain't I'm going like, dude, I'm going through all of this dude's tweets. This is not a mistake. This is not a mistake. I'm not sure if this is like an actual picture of specifically him or if this is somebody that is masquerading or whatever it is. Um I never once been to no black dinner. If you build good grocery stores and they're black people, you are just trying to gentrify the neighborhoods. And if you don't build them, you're just trying to systematically malnourish them and leave them in a food desert. I'm not specifically know if he's even trying to be sincere or if he's doing that in like a joking manner. Huh. The couple killed Tyree and Nicholas are disgusting, but I seriously just don't understand this tendency to think everything bad that happens to a black person happens because they're black. How is this about race at all? Huh. Yeah, some of the stuff I'm seeing up here, like when you start going through like people's what's the names, is crazy. Whether her kid, like, and I saw the kids doing the TikTok. Yeah, I didn't even mean to actually even like that don't even make no sense. Only one of the kids had ah you know the toughest part the toughest part is then when you run across like some stuff where it's like somebody slightly has a point. Just briefly, just for a split second, just for a split second, because I looked at that video and I'm like, why would you even, why would you do that? Like, why? Out of everything, you said read their full bio. Oh, I read it. Oh, I read it. I'm currently going through November 18th of 2022 tweets at this moment in time. This man said few things make people of color more angry than a group of attractive white people simply existing and being attractive. You can't be serious. Oh, you can't be serious. Oh my, you and out of everything, you got the most basic looking women up here. Oh my God, you gotta be. Yo, oh my goodness. And I'm going to say like those Easter candies wore the colors better. You got the most basic looking. I can't take this. This can't be serious. Ty, this can't be serious. This cannot be serious. Like what? Yeah, it's like the tweets only go as far back as October 30th of 2022. Like, the dude said, "You are single-handedly make me less racist every time I look at one of your tweets." What, bro? What is even happening? Yeah, that's just automatically weird. That was the weirdest set of tweets that I've ever ran through in my life. And I usually take my time to sit up there and go through tweets. And I did. And all of that was just like it was a lot of like nonsensical foolishness to in a sense like cater to like a certain perspective like and a group and a thought process. Like that's realistically like what a lot of that was. Like I seen some of the stuff, like you had a lot of stuff up there about like black people generalized, and then you had the other stuff up there about women, which some of that was crazy within itself. I'm like, all right. Like I said, I don't know what type of time some of these people be directly on, but it's weird. Real weird. That's what it be. Real weird. Let's see what we got. Oh, Samurai Showdown got it's gonna be in the tournament. Oh snap! It gonna be the, what? When they post this? They post this on the third. We send that. That's dope. I gotta I'm gonna sit up there and like watch that after the stream so I can see where you was. That's dope. Gotta sit up there and see. I actually went to Evo. That's dope. Um, Tassa Seji, you were supposed to get off and get on Kicker. Yo, you sent me the link and you told me to sit up there and like look at it. That's what I did. Which, you thought I wasn't gonna sit up here. I'm gonna look at it. I looked at it on stream, but I didn't look at it on stream. Y'all just was able to hear like the reaction. This man said excuses. This man using my stuff. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. It's crazy out here. First of all, I'm waiting for you to actually get the game. I done beat the game. I got my hours in here. I know where stuff is located, sir. You still brand new to the game. You know? Like I said, I'm just gonna let y'all know. Ty was basically saying that once he gets remnant from the ashes, that he was gonna be an all-star in the game, that he wasn't gonna die. He was just gonna come in and just body the game, like from beginning to end. He wasn't gonna be taking like no L's at all. And I was like, all right, sir, I expect to see that. I expect to see that. This man said objection. So you're Phoenix right now? That's what we doing? You said I'm gonna get my hours. All right, we'll see if your hours are gonna match up to my hours, sir. We'll see that. I'm currently on a break at this moment in time. 24-hour break. Sort of. You said when you 100% remnant one, you could say something about me. Oh, you're right. You know what? You're right. I did not 100% remnant one. I did that with a lot of my fighting games though, like Tekken. I made sure to 100% that one. I got some games out there that I did 100 percent. I got some games that I did completely play through. Didn't I was never really an achievement hunter like that because I grew up in the age of not having achievements. So yeah, you know, you know, you know. I feel like Timothy is is using AI right now to talk. Oh, wait a minute. I know what he's talking about. He's way back. He's talking about referring, because I was like, why you mentioning Tone Low? He's talking about Rock. So I know where he is. He's about, that's like an hour plus behind, and like in a live stream. Was like Tone Loc played a drug dealer. I remember that. That dude is he's back there in that live stream. Did I mention something about Trump back then? I'm not even sure. Ty said I only did it because I have the game on everything. Yeah, see, I only have the game on Xbox. Wait a minute. Oh, you saying I didn't mention anything about you? Okay, because I was trying to figure. I'm like, did I mention something? I'm like, maybe I might have. I'm like, maybe it's potentially I might have said something. And Ty was like, no, he ain't saying nothing. He ain't mentioned nothing about nothing. My phone is pretty much dead at this moment in time. Yeah, I could sit up there and play some what's the name? He said I told you he went from like 100 to 2. You know, anything is possible at this moment in time. Did my phone officially die right now? I think it did. No, it's on 11%. Yeah, I gotta sit there. Yeah, it just died. 11%. That's how you know this phone is old. When the phone dies on 11%, yeah. He's out here back in the past talking, taking nerf after nerf. Ty said he will in a few days. I bet. Gail said, what is what game is Seji about to lose on now? Wow, Gail. You just coming back to the scene talking about I'm about to be taking L. That's crazy. That's crazy, Gail. That is massively crazy how the lack of faith that you have in me at this moment in time. That's crazy. I said he gonna hop in the comments and make that into his own little chat. Ty said he's always losing on games. Firstly, Ty, do you even play Call of Duty? Do you play Call of Duty, sir? Because I just took a break off of Call of Duty. So what was the highest kills that you had? Now I got to sit up there and turn on Call of Duty because I want to sit up there and I want to see something real quick. Because Ty up here talking like some ultra shit. Let me turn on this system real quick. Let me just do that. Hold on. This man talking massive foolishness. Massive foolishness. I can't believe Gail pulling up to the scene talking about he about to be just taking it. That is crazy, Gail. That is crazy. Wow, that's massively crazy. And these are supposed to be my friends. Look at this. Look at this here. Look at this. Look at this. Let me see. Where is Call of Duty? Ooh, that bad boy is 150 gigs. That is crazy. Oh, they added the other people from story mode on here. That don't make no sense. Like, how do you technically add celebrities in the game before you add the people from the actual story mode? That's crazy to me. That's crazy how they do that. Gail sitting up here laughing. All right, you stay laughing, Gail. You in that 360. Stay laughing, Gail. Stay laughing. I said can't compare since I haven't played since Vanguard. And I rarely played then since I was on my PlayStation. Man, I don't want to hear that. Playing Call of Duty is like riding a bike. I don't want to hear that. Now I'm hearing excuses. I don't want to hear none of that nonsense, sir. I don't want to hear none of that. I'm hearing the excuses, sir. I'm hearing straight excuses. Oh, they got a full video with this jackass in there?
Yeah, there's not much I can't find. Alice.
Shadow himself.
Welcome, Graves.
Heard you died in a tank in South America.
Well, I wasn't in that tank.
What?
What else you heard?
We're fighting our own battles here. We have no time for rumors.
Farrah, I have always liked your style.
He's alive?
You've been helpful to our cause.
You can thank General Shepard for that.
Been a minute since we heard from the general.
Well, he's been occupied.
War is everywhere.
Ain't that the truth?
How is he alive?
Battle plan.
Al-Nazra.
Russians are in the country.
Yeah, Coney Group. Right in your backyard.
What do you propose?
Striking while the iron's hot.
Before they move into Watersikistan.
We combine forces. Send Coney packing back in
That
Moscow.
dude was a traitor. How is he alive? I took him out on the last mission.
When he's out of that.
Good. Let's unleash the beast then, shall we?
Wow, that's crazy. My bad. I just ended up finding out somebody that I took out about some time ago in the story mode is actually alive, and quote unquote, he was not the one in the tank. That's bull. That's bull. That is bull. Ty said, "I'm just not paying a company to play online." Oh, that sounds like that old PS3 logic. It's like, yeah, when we cut on our system, we always have online. We don't gotta pay for a subscription like you Xbox people. And here we are today, where everybody got a subscription. Gail said, yeah. We'll see if you can hold your balance. Gail said, evidently you didn't take him out last mission. Firstly, he was the one that jumped his ass into that tank, had to sit up there and do that mission, had to basically destroy the tank and take him out. We did. But he was saying that he was never in a tank. And I'm like, that don't even make no sense. So who was that, a clone? Like what are we doing out here? Let me see. Then they got that watch look dope though. I would have to buy the battle pass just to get that. Which we're not doing. What? So just like the previous season? What are we looking at here? Last chance to buy your season 4 battle pass. No, I can't purchase it. We don't got the moolah for that. Oh, that's crazy money right there. Y'all talking about like $50. We good. All right, get me out of the battle pass area. I mean, that skin look dope. Whatever. We'll just turn that on. Don't even matter. Oh, they got some new weapons up here too. Huh. All right. So for Ty, if I go directly to my stats here, right, and I'm looking directly at the multiplayer. Oh, they done swapped the whole thing, how this is looking. So it tells me that my personal best, technically I done had more kills than that in the game. But basically my highest kill streak is 18, but my highest kill in a game was 104. So that's where I'm sitting right now. And I had close to those numbers before in a previous Call of Duty. I think I might still have that on YouTube on my blurry Bigfoot footage, where I got about I think it was like 87 kills in like a team deathmatch, and I think I only died about, I think maybe it was about like 6 to like 9 times. Like I was doing work. Like I said, I'll be doing work in Call of Duty now. I'll be doing work. And Gail's sitting up here talking mess too. Gail, I need you to sit up there and get on the game. I need you to update as I'm talking real close to this mic right now because I'm standing up. I need you to sit up there and get a new system so I can sit up there and see how you play, Gail. Because you be in the background talking a lot of mess, Gail. You be talking a lot of mess. You be talking a lot of mess. Always in the background, Gail. Just egging stuff on. Just talking, running your mouth. I'm waiting to sit up there and see you get on the game, Gail. I'm waiting. Let me see. Ty said this man sounds shocked. I'm 1000% shocked because I swear to you, when we sat up there and went through all of those missions, there's certain Call of Duties I will play and sit through and go through the story because I'm actually intrigued. I'm interested. This is one of those Call of Duties, so it's like it is a bit of a shocker to me. Farah is also one of my favorite characters as well. She's been up there for me. I think this is probably about like the third Call of Duty I think Farrah was actually in, or the lady that plays like Farrah. Let's see. I don't even know last time I even played the match. Then I got my weapons up here that I got the most kills with. Like I said, I don't mind comparing stats. Don't mind comparing stats. Wow, 1987 damage. That's crazy. 1998. Like I said, we'll be getting some work in. Getting some work in. One of these days, we're gonna have to sit up there and get the YouTube crew together, and we're gonna sit up there and get some of y'all up here. That'd be Pink said going to walk my dog with the family, but we'll keep this live going. Much love and appreciation, Pink. Much love and appreciation. One day we're gonna end up getting the YouTube crew together, and we're gonna sit up here and be playing some games. That's what's going to have to sit up there and happen. It's going to be a nice little, group gathering that's going to sit up there and take place. We can just sit up there and just be, laughing and whatnot. And Gail going to be stopped talking that nonsense in the background. That's why she quiet right now. Ain't saying nothing. Ain't saying nothing. Anyways, so what I'm going to do here, we're going to exit off of here. And I'm going to be in a few minutes. I will more than likely stream some Remnant on Kick and Twitch. I'll probably have it going upstairs, and I'll probably just have like the countdown going because I'll just figure out, what I'm going to, eat or whatnot because I've been up here streaming for about 3 hours and like 38 minutes, talking to y'all and whatnot. And Ty said, I'm cool with that as long as it's not during school days. Well, what I would sit up there and more than likely do, I would just figure out what days are like free for like everybody. I would try to have to like coordinate that. So I'll have to just try to like figure that out and coordinate that. That's probably what I'll use like the Discord for. So it's like, make a group in there, coordinate that stuff, and figure out, how that's, going to sit up there and go and different things of that nature. So that way, people can, figure out what days they got free or different stuff or when it is that they can, roll in there and stuff of that nature. But As always, much love, respect, and appreciation to any and everybody that has been a part of the stream for the full 3 hours and 39 minutes. Thanks for y'all just sitting there listening to me, trying to give out the information that I have that I want us to go over. Blue Henny said, they literally said that in Northeast Ohio, both gonorrhea and syphilis is catching bodies out there. Oh, I believe it. I 1000% believe it when it deals with those STDs because again, you don't have a lot of awareness out there, nor do you have a lot of people talking about prevention. So, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be very high infection rates directly out there, and you also got to deal with um, people being asymptomatic and people not specifically talking about, what's going on. So I 100% believe it. I just hope, that, it gets better before it gets worse, but it seems like it's going to get worse before, it gets better. And there's going to be a lot of people caught in the crosshairs, you know, um, and that's, sad within itself. So, you know, but yeah, again, much love, respect, and appreciation to any and everybody that was part of, the conversation. Any information that might have been given and passed along, for any, insight as well. Much love and appreciation to any and all of you guys who may have, donated either today or maybe in the future as well to the platform in order to help keep the platform going. Thank you guys as well. And also, shout out and much love, respect, and appreciation to all of my patrons directly out there that might be a part of this live stream or that might just so happen to catch the videos later on, potentially, possibly. And I will catch you guys on the next live stream when I have some more and different information to hand over to you guys as well. So peace, love, and stay tuned.